The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
This weekend is the Rock and Shock weekend. And myself, Johnny, Aries, Dynamo, and even that old table humper, Michael Ravenshadow, is going to be there too. So come on down and join us. Join us for some fun this weekend. We're going to have a ball. We're going to do all sorts of great things. Hey, guess what? We're even going to be putting on a show. So you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to be said. But also, don't forget that on the 12th, that Friday, this Friday, the Deadites will be performing at the Cove Music Hall in Worcester, Massachusetts. And it's going to be a hot show in the city tonight. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 324 of Trick or Treat Radio. Looks like the camera froze. That's fucked up. All right, we'll deal with that in a second.
Okay.
Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we also are going to appear live at Rock and Shock this upcoming weekend.
It's going to be a ball.
It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. You never know what's going to happen.
It sound like a WWE Attitude Era commercial. Never know what's going to happen to the WWE.
Unbelievable. Anything can happen at Trick or Treat Radio.
So let me see.
Are we alive or?
Yeah, we're live, but it's frozen.
No,
It's
I know we're live, but are we alive? I mean,
well, apparently
nobody's-
me and Aries are dead. We
yeah, I
haven't
think
moved.
it's comatose right now.
Adam Green frozen or like cartoon frozen?
Cartoon frozen.
Cartoon.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Because
because we're a bunch of cartoon characters.
Oh, you look
probably
like-
from like 20
you
minutes
look like
ago.
that snowman.
Which, yeah. That's ridiculous.
First time live show watchers. It's usually more animated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll figure this out. Marsman, I know you're just getting settled in. Are you ready to
Hi,
maybe
Wolfie.
talk about this weekend?
I am.
Okay, go ahead, because that'll be good, so I can troubleshoot.
So this weekend is our WrestleMania weekend. It's our biggest weekend of the year, and we have upped the ante because I'll go backwards because normally we have just a cool show, but we're also going to be at Rock and Shock all weekend at the table, I believe, for the most part. These guys are going to be there all weekend, and I'm going to be there a bunch. But then on Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m., the first ever local live Trick or Treat Radio at Rock and Shock in the convention hall. Should be good. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what Wolfie has up his sleeve. And it's going to be great. We love doing it with the chat, but it's going to be even more fun. And I've got a lot of feedback over the last couple days that people are going to it, so it should be cool. And then, before that, on the night before, we will be doing, which I think is our 23rd.
There we are.
Oh, good.
I got it.
Which I think is our 23rd annual.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's up to 22nd.
It's like the 6th annual 20th
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah, of doing this Halloween show, and we're very excited about it. It's at the Cove Music Hall. It is called the Trick or Treat Radio Masquerade Extravaganza. All the way from Las Vegas, we're bringing world-class VJ, Jimmy Gonzalez and Cinema Therapy, someone who we were playing with back in the day, Ted, who owns the Cove Music Hall. His band, the Excrementals, are there, and the Frenzy of the Tongs are playing. It's going to be good. We're having enough time. I had a funny, I'll have to tell Wolfie will appreciate this. I had a funny conversation about Round Trip Jones backlining in drums that made me feel kind of like a dumb asshole. But I laughed. Ted is really excited to have us there, and he's very excited to have the Trick or Treat Radio guys in the house. He's very excited to have those filmmakers there. The club is anxious to have us, and it should be a real good time. And we've got a pretty great set list, even though Donna Matrix keeps popping in and making executive cuts to shit she doesn't want to play. So it should be a good time. I'm real excited. I hope you guys come down. If you're local and you're old enough, it's worth it. I am very proud of the current incarnation of the Deadites, and I know I speak for Wolfie, Tiny, and Matrix when I say that, I feel like it's a really good community right now within ourselves, and it's really, really cool. And I look forward to more cross-pollination between the Trick or Treat Radio and the band the Deadites, but nothing is cooler than when we do it live in front of you. So it's going to be a good time. So thank you very, very much. I think that my friend right here is going to be very excited about Cinema Therapy, maybe more than anyone else, because you wouldn't know this about Monster Zero, but he likes dancing and he likes horror movies. So I think that it's going to be like a mix of good things. So it's going to be super, super excited. It's a good weekend, and then I'm going to hold him to it because I told him I was giving him to the Wednesday before to back out. But Tiny and I will be at Rocket Shock all day at the table Sunday, shaking babies and kissing hands and stuff. So it should be a good time.
Do you really think because you gave him a deadline, he's not going to renege on it? I got to give him credit where credit is due. He has somehow become very good at being where he is supposed to be.
But if something happens in the maze, all bets are off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, I saw the maze one day, and then Aries showed up the next day, and when I saw it a day after that, it looked like a totally different maze. So by all intent and purposes, there probably wouldn't even be a maze right now if it wasn't for Aries. So good on you, sir.
Do you get a co I don't know, what would you call it?
Co-producer?
Co-producer, co-designer,
Yeah.
I don't know. You get a credit, Aries?
No.
No?
I don't
You don't want a
one.
credit?
Yeah.
I
mean, he flat out told me that Aries saved the maze, so I thought everybody should know.
He doesn't even get a free walk through the maze.
No,
Yeah,
He has to
$10,
pay.
asshole.
no, I did. I walked through and yelled at kids the entire time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Are you guys excited? I'm very excited.
For the maze or
Well,
for the maze
yeah.
is very
I'm
exciting.
pumped
Yeah,
for this
no.
whole weekend, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And
for
MZ's
this.
off. He's on vacation.
I
He
know, it's
chose
great.
chose a
Whoa.
good week for vacation.
Finally got it right. Yeah.
Now, what time do you have to leave on Saturday?
5 o'clock.
I am going to launch
Why?
myself over this table
Well,
Oh,
says
stick
the
my-
guy that left at 3 p.m.
and stick my knee right in your mouth.
with the one you scraped last week.
Okay. Is he wrong?
Well,
Not
You
wrong.
did go home for
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
spaghetti squash. or
hold
whatever.
on.
No.
Hold on.
Carando was there.
Hold
and he was
on.
Carando was there.
Hold the fuck on. So, there was a little film called Survival of Film Freaks that featured me and Johnny Wolfenstein
Yes.
that was made by Bill by Force and Kyle at a festival put on by perennial, often now Trick or Treat Radio collaborator Skip Shea.
Yes.
On Trick or Treat Radio, there are 3 people who were not in Survival of the Fittest. Survival of Film Freaks.
Or the fattest.
Or the fittest or the fattest.
Yeah, no, I was in Survival of the Fittest 98 in Ring of Honor. And when that happened, the New England premiere,
Yes.
only one person walked through the door. So I'm giving him a no one can give him shit clause because he's the only one
Oh,
who
come
actually showed
on.
up to support me and
I saw
Wolfie.
it already.
Wow.
Well, no, I'm not saying
So?
you.
I know, but
You
I
were
saw
in
it
it.
already.
Yeah. I saw it already too.
Well, I've
And
not.
I was planning to go, and I unfortunately had other
No,
stuff
I'm not
happen.
giving you shit.
No,
You
I
did.
know.
Yeah.
I feel bad that I didn't
Yeah,
go.
I mean, but Monster Zero,
Yeah, but that doesn't make up for everything.
to me, it does.
Last year at I just feel bad for him that he wasn't able to hang out with
I agree.
Carando. Carando came out to hang out with us, and he had to leave at 3 p.m.
So
to have squash.
I'm sure that the lawn needed to get mowed or the maze needed to get fixed or something. So
Well, I've not seen Survival of the Film Freaks, but I
I'm-
hear it's very good.
right.
I hear it wins awards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great.
Award winning.
Yeah, it's a treat.
And it played 20
Yeah,
minutes
I-
from your house, but whatever.
I watched it, and I was highly impressed.
As we said on Outside the Cinema this week, which I was on, We were all worried about you because you were laughing so hard we could see you were red in the dark.
Yeah, it looked like HAL 9000.
Man.
You can point
You
me
were
out.
so you
What,
liked it.
what was that movie that Chris Gore kept talking about?
Vasectomy?
Vasectomy
the movie.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm surprised that Chris Gore is even still around. I remember him way back in the
Yeah.
late 80s,
Well, he
early
looks
90s.
exactly the fucking
Film
same.
Threat.
Film
Right,
Threat,
yep.
yeah. I mean, and I don't even know if Film Threat's still around. Is it?
It was around when I had Dynamos.
I remember it was really big
I
back
saw-
in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah, I saw him
I
when
used
I-
to get that magazine
When I went
all the
to
goddamn time.
when I went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2002, he hosted a bunch of panels.
Oh,
And he
cool.
was like, Chris Gore from Film Threat. I didn't know him before then.
yeah,
Aries,
no,
how many
Film-
years ago
Film
did we
Threat
have
was
a comic
great
store?
magazine.
Better than 10.
Yeah, so
It's
I would get Film Threat then. But
Webs-
it might have been older.
website's still up, filmthreat.com.
He was on Attack of the Show. So yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, that's right
Yep.
on G4. That's right.
Yeah.
while he deserves shit for a lot of things, he did surprise. And you can ask Bill.
I'm glad you made it up.
You can
Steve.
ask Bill
That's right down
if
your
he didn't
wheelhouse.
tell you.
Bill forgave him too?
Well, no. Well, Bill said. Bill came up to me. He goes, "Well, I wonder if some of you guys are going to come, but you know who's not going to come is Monster Zero, and he can call in or he can tell you because I know he listens to the show." I said, "You know what, Bill? I have the feeling if anyone's going to walk through that door, it'll be Monster Zero.
Lo and behold.
Yep.
Not because he cares about any of us, just because he's fucking sick
No,
of hearing it."
just because I want to get the hell out of the house.
Right. So, yeah, he did. So,
No. Look. I got almost a front row seat, man. The place was filled up pretty good too, I might add.
Yep.
And it was just a really well put together documentary, and you guys looked great. Everybody looked good.
Weren't you proud of how smart Wolfie sounded though? Like
come
every time I
on.
watch it, like well, I do a show with you every single week. I don't know if smart
I know.
would be what I would lead with.
Nah,
like,
Since when did they add CGI to this?
Yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah,
too.
they put 20 pounds on me.
I know you look so fat there, dude.
I lost
You're
like
big,
20
huh?
pounds.
I noticed how much weight you lost in our picture with Skip.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I didn't know who that was. I'm like, who's that fucking wrestler? That's sexy. That was Big Papa Pump for a minute.
Come work out with me, Raven Shadow.
That didn't work. I think
You
I'm
know-
going to work out, man. I ain't doing that.
You know, everybody looked good. Adrian Wolanin, Steven Scarlatta. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
everyone
looked
was
good.
awesome.
And everybody
Everyone was
sounded
just
great.
awesome. They sounded great.
Eric from
sounded
Bloody Good
intelligent.
Horror
Yep.
was on that.
Yeah, it was just really, really,
And,
really well done. Lloyd
Rob-
Kaufman, you know,
Yep.
Jack was in it.
Jack and Rob G from Shockwaves.
Yep.
yeah, and Ted Raimi, who I'm
Who?
sure, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the guy.
Jimmy Gonzalez, who we had on the show last week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah. So
So yeah, no, I
sorry
really
you couldn't
enjoyed
make
it.
it.
I enjoyed
I
the
hope you're
whole
recovering
thing.
from your terrible injury.
Listen, there was a lot going on at the Raven Chateau. I had the dish.
There's always
over.
a lot going on.
Yeah, the dish was over, and we were working on setting up the,
The
room.
dish?
Yeah, it's a friend of mine.
As in Tish.
That is that like a Brett Kavanaugh like a high school yearbook line?
I don't know who Brett Kavanaugh is. He wasn't in my grade.
All right, you don't want to know then.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I set up the sexy speakeasy is almost done.
You've
It
been
is
working
so
up for like
clo-
3 years.
It's been about a year. It's been a year in the making, but it's done. Hang up a lot of posters. Hung up some action
Is
figures.
it, how sexy is it on a scale of
it's,
1 to 10?
It's about 11 and a half.
Here's the
And
funny
that's right
part.
now.
If he was in Survival of Film Freaks, he would be at fucking Las Vegas screenings. He would be
Oh, yeah.
like every fucking where.
Yeah,
but
you would
because he's
show
not
up
in
at
it,
every single one.
He doesn't care.
Wait till that Brian Pollen joint drops.
Yeah.
No, anyway, I'm very proud of Bill and the other one. They did really
The
good
other
work.
one.
No, Kyle. I love him. Give him a
Oh,
swoosh.
thank God you know his name.
This is the
Yeah.
first time I've looked at you, Marge. You shaved your beard, or you trimmed it.
You look. I might kiss you in the mouth. I like the little bandana.
It looks
thing
better.
going on.
I like it
Yeah.
better.
Hey, Murder, Death, Kill, Michael Raven Show.
MDK.
yeah, because you had that Mick Foley beard going on, pretty hard.
Yeah,
Well, you know what
it looks better.
Honestly, it's just the way my days are set up. Like there are
You
certain
can't
things.
shave?
Well, no, there are certain
It's
things.
11 o'clock.
No. Well, there's certain things when I realize I can do it. Like if I need cat food, we can get and jump in the car and go to an all-night grocery store or something and get cat food. Like I haven't figured out yet where, like, fuck, I need a beard trimmer and I have to go to work in 25 minutes.
You
Like,
don't. Oh, you don't have a beard trimmer?
Well, I do. I bought
Oh.
one today, but I dropped it on the floor like 3 weeks ago, and I just let my beard go fucking Aries style crazy. I think I messed it up a little
It takes
though.
me hours to get this.
It looks like it takes you years.
It's like in Just One of the Guys. It took me hours to get this look together.
Yeah, I think I messed up my beard, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I notice this.
I don't notice.
It's just I think I made it too short on one side, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
by
use
the
the
time,
same thing on both sides?
So I
but by the
tried to
time-
buy a cheaper one than I had, and it only had 2 attachments, and neither one was really short, so I had to kind of
yeah, but with the way
had
your
to kind of
beard
be a little
grows,
surgical.
with the way your facial hair grows, by the time the weekend hits, it'll look good.
Murder,
It'll be filled out a little.
murder, death, kill, Halloween.
Mars Death Kill.
Yeah, Miles Death Kill.
But I did enjoy thoroughly the documentary. I
I'm just-
really did,
Yeah.
and that I had fun. I mean, it wasn't just informative; it was funny and it was fun.
And I can't
And
believe
I
I'm
had
fucking
a
in it.
ball watching that movie.
You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to be in a movie with Ted Raimi and Chris Gore and Joe Bob Briggs.
Corando.
Corando. Well, that's
yeah, Carando's.
but Corando's to my later point because. I mean, it's cool because we talk about directors and stuff like that, but Joe Bob Briggs and Chris Gore is as big of a reason of why I do what I do as like any filmmaker. Like they're the reason I watched a lot of those films. But when I was sick, the people that we know in that movie are the people who rallied around me and didn't have to. Like, there's some sort of obligation in 30 years that you assholes should probably try to keep me alive. But like all these, people, so hearing from Neck and all the really nice, generous like packages and everything else I got from Corando with all sorts of like teas and all this other stuff, and just so many people, like even people like who, Jack Bennett or Eric Newell that didn't know how helpful they were, that they just dropped me a line about whatever, and it just, when you're sitting in a hospital and you just get a line, from somebody that you don't talk to all the time. So, I was in a film with a bunch of people that I love and really appreciate in proximity to when that happened to me. So it was a really nice, it's going to be a really nice timestamp, if you will, as Raven Shadow would say one day, where I'll be able to look at that and think about that. Not only did I make it through the shitty thing that I went through, but, me and, probably the person that I like to talk about, no disrespect to anybody else in the world, but probably the person I like to talk to the most about movies in the world, of my friend base, where we were both in this film, and then all these other amazing people were in it too, and it really, it really meant a lot to me, and it really means the world, because like when you have Cozy and Joe Bob Briggs and Lloyd Kaufman, you don't have to put Johnny Wolfenstein and Dynamo Mars, in your movie, even if they know their shit, and it was nice, it was cool that they were there, and I think everybody's gonna love it. I think everybody's gonna really enjoy it. I've seen it a second time. I enjoyed it more. Because I was kind of a little less. I got to watch it as a fan as opposed to be
Yeah,
shocked.
you weren't
like,
you
holy
weren't
shit,
waiting for like how shitty am I gonna be?
Yeah, or like
That's what
like,
I was thinking.
Yeah, like or is like, oh, was that the last time I was in it? I sounded dumb.
Yeah.
So like, or all I can see is my fucking tooth anyway, or lack thereof. But yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And Survival of Film Freaks and Skip Shea are a huge part of this weekend with us. They're located right next door to us at the convention. We just announced today. It was down to the wire, but I heard from my good buddy Kyle, and he is too going to be the third host at the Halloween
Nice.
extravaganza. So
Nice.
we have basically 3 award-winning filmmakers hosting our show, and that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because
They're probably more talented than the band.
oh yeah, everybody.
Well,
I mean,
the bands.
on most nights when it's not some, like in the old days, like before we kind of started doing everything ourselves, like the guy who sold our T-shirts was more talented than us. And I believe that it's going to be retro because the legendary Roger LaValle is going to be mixing us, and that's always
Nice.
like
Yeah.
a unique situation. So
Awesome. Let me check in real quick in the chat room because we've got a bunch of people hanging out. We got Derek Rook, our boy Derek Rook is
Nice.
hanging out.
Hey,
we got
D.
Pabst. We got Creepy Girl.
Nice.
Hey, baby.
We got Tim Chuma from
Nice.
Down Under. We got Pabst
Again?
again.
Traitor.
And sorry. And we got Evil Corny.
Nice. He's
Hey, Cornball, what's up, man?
And we also got Corey hanging out.
nice.
Oh, Corey's in the house.
Evil
Hey.
Corny and Evil Corey.
That's
Nice.
nice.
That's pretty awesome. Speaking of, I see your shirt now fully and see what it is, and I was very excited. My child stopped in to see me at my day job, and he was wearing that shirt.
Oh, my shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know who you were talking to.
Yeah.
Which child would that be? Pabst?
No. He's out of the fucking will.
Because
Jesse
he's
G?
out of the will doesn't mean he's not your child anymore.
Well, you'll see. I can falsify those accounts.
Jesse G?
No, Jesse G would be my child. Alberto.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, he's not your child. That's my buddy. You stole him.
No, he stole me.
He stole me.
Kidnap him.
Who better could make you a buddy than me? Me and
That's
my,
weird.
Me and my super sperm.
Jesus. That's gross.
That's weird.
I mean,
Tell you
an
what's
army
gross?
of fucking
Getting
air
fucking shot in the
sharkies.
face in Alaska.
Whoa.
That's gross.
Did you pay extra for that?
Pap says, geez, me and Jesse G out of the will.
No, Jesse G's still in the will. He'll be at the fucking show, Pabst.
Well, Paps is going to be at the Trick or Treat Radio live show.
Yeah, but Jesse G's probably gonna be at that too. So he's fucking one up.
So he went up.
Yeah, he fucking jumped on that
I don't blame.
Goomba's head.
I don't blame Pabst.
I do.
I don't. I blame not being able to talk about the show early enough.
Right. I blame Pabst.
But
You know
he
what?
made
This
plans.
is this is all
He made
better for
plans.
Paps anyway, because the
Why?
will is just going to be a series of bills.
It's just gonna get a box of IOUs to Aries.
That's fair.
Empty, broken things that I couldn't finish, so Aries had to go buy a new one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll see. He was gonna get the Legends.
So yes, Mars mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we are going to be doing a live Trick or Treat Radio from Rock and Shock, and it's going to be in the panel room. So if you guys have ever been to Rock and Shock, when you come in, all the way to the right, pretty much as soon as you come in, there's a panel room there. That's where they have the celebrities doing Q&As and and other like filmmakers, things like that, other panels. So we're
I'm going to feel pretty giddy thinking that I'm going to be sitting in the same seat that Ted Raimi sits in.
yeah.
Right there on street level, that area with the big windows.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be weird.
So people can look through the windows and watch you.
And last
It'll
year,
be like the Today Show.
yeah, exactly. Last year, Mars and I did the Survival of the Film Freaks panel, which was awesome. So yeah, we have some thoughts in mind. Mars pitched a bunch of ideas to me earlier, one of which was a striptease.
Nice.
Yeah, good. I'm ready for that.
No,
Just to clarify, we are doing a striptease, right?
Nope. I said
I'm
no.
ready, yep.
Definitely. I said definitely not.
Okay.
Why?
All right. I'll double down. I'll just no tease, just strip.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, if you're playing hardball.
No, we're gonna get that hot shit waitress from next door and come over to wait on you. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, we can call her.
I'll tell you what, we're not gonna see her because I'm not eating at that fucking hellhole. I
Yeah,
got
we are.
cramp.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're gonna go to 99. That's the best
screw
deal
that
in town.
place.
Yep. $9 fucking real size entrees.
Yeah, get flirtinis. It's
They
gonna
don't
be a
have
good time.
flirtinis or stadium burgers.
I was there the other day. I should never have a stadium burger again.
But you don't eat any of that stuff.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
almost
I won't
made-
have one. But
That
you
almost
guys
made
can.
my system be have to be vegan. That was too much meat in too short amount of time. I think I really did eat all the stadium burgers.
So one thing I thought is if people have ideas that are watching live, unfortunately, if you're not watching live, you probably won't be able to get it to us in time. But if people have ideas for what they would like us to do for a live show, I'd love to hear. So if you want to, you can send in a voice message or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com, or just comment in the chat room if you're in there, and let us know what you'd like to see, or what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like us to discuss, things like that. We do have a plan or a rough plan, and it includes some of the things that you had mentioned, Dynamo. So
Well,
we
a couple of things hit the chat.
okay, yeah.
Corey, Evil Corey says, table hump.
Yes.
He doesn't like that.
It's
You
being
didn't get that
requested.
memo?
It's being requested. And
There is a big table on stage.
and there's a bunch of big tables. Ravenshaw's going to go bonkers.
Tim
And,
Chuma, yeah. What does Tim Chuma
Chip
have to say?
says, tuck dance.
Yeah, there you go.
I want both of those things. You know what's good? Neither one of these two guys in this whole time, when they said they don't want something on the internet, didn't figure out that you or I can just put it and block them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why everybody loves the tuck dances out in the world.
It's not.
Yeah.
No,
everybody saw
it's
it.
not out there.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not.
It's not
If
out
it-
there. It's
If it
between
is,
your
my
legs.
life is over.
It's not over. Who's gonna see it?
Actually, your life will probably just begin.
yeah, he's very popular. Yeah.
Yeah. You would fucking blow up.
Yeah, you would. The fucking
And then
people
and
would
then,
see that tuck dance, and you'd be on the last train to fucking Florida.
And then girlfriend zero would break up with you, and you'd be all set.
The whole house to yourself. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
all
it's so nice.
yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
You could move and have nice landlords. Like,
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I want to sleep on the couch. I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
I'll be living single.
I choose to.
Do you
Yeah.
do that now, Raven Chow? Do you sleep on the couch
Sometimes.
just for the hell of it?
Just because I can.
Yeah,
Because if
'cause you
anybody
can.
who's living
Yeah.
single, it's
You're not
Raven Shadow.
you're not forced to.
I'm not forced to. No, I just enjoy it. It's leather. I got long legs.
you know what I realized today? That's like fully my house now. So I can snap the carrot any room I want.
See?
Front room, back room. As long as no little kids walk by, I can smack the carrot anywhere I want. I don't have to just be in my bedroom anymore. This is a revolutionary concept.
Oh my god.
Pabst wants a request from you.
Yeah.
He says,
I want a thing from Pabst, not go drive 3 hours to watch 2 movies on DVD. But
he says, Mars to stop complaining about me not coming is what I want.
well, you're gonna lose.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
It's like you with your face in my lap complaining that I'm not coming. All
I
you
know
have
you're not talking to me.
all you have to do is come.
You always make him come.
That's
Jesus,
true. He's
what
right.
happened?
Let's take a turn.
Yeah.
He does that tongue trick. It's nice.
He's got DSLs. Why would he use his tongue?
I don't know. He takes it right to
Guys,
the
leave
base
my
and yells,
mouth out
"What
of
the
this.
fuck?"
All right, what else do you want us to use?
Yeah.
It's the problem that we're leaving your mouth in this.
Wow. Yeah. So any more ideas you guys have for even shows tonight, topics, let us know.
Yeah, anything that can help this show along.
Well, my phone was dead. It's only 3%.
Where's Corey live?
I don't know.
I think he lives about 4 or 5 hours up down the coast.
Up down the coast.
Yeah, I was
Up, back, left, right, down the coast. But so that's like what, 5 hours? He can come up here.
Was he in like Philadelphia? That's
no, it's
that's like 4.5 hours.
like next to like.
Oh, okay.
I want to do a buddy cop movie with me, Evil Corny, and Corey. It'd be excellent.
You can't have a 3-way, buddy cop.
That's why it'd be revolutionary.
You're all buddies?
Yeah. We're called the Oreo Squad.
What?
It'd be cool, but it'd be like a New Jack
Oh,
City
no.
type thing.
Come on.
What? It's fun.
No, it's
No,
not.
Why?
It's racist.
It's not.
Jesus Christ.
But we're like New Jack City too.
Just double down, why don't you?
All right. Well, I thought it was. All right.
Is Spike Lee going to direct it?
He can.
Jesus Christ.
All right, that'd be fun.
I feel
Maybe
like
not.
we just jumped back to the 90s episodes.
Creepy Girl says, snap the carrot? That sounds painful.
Yeah, that's better.
Only if you do it figuratively.
And Corey says, fuck Baltimore. I'm in Maryland. 30 minutes north of D.C. Oh,
Did you,
he's in D.C.
Did you
Near D.C.
Did Fangoria come out for real? Did you guys get it yet?
It's come off for real, and I haven't got mine yet.
No,
They
did you
shipped
guys
out
see-
last week, so I don't
Did
know
you
why
guys
mine
see
hasn't
the post that Brian Paulin put up?
I did.
How awesome is this? That
That's super cool.
yeah. Let me just read it. What his post says from Facebook if you haven't seen it.
This is Brian Paulin from Morbid Vision Films.
Right. It says, I've seen confirmation, so I can finally mention this. If you pick up the new issue of Fangoria, director S. Craig Zahler wrote an article on Morbid Vision Films focusing on fetus and bone sickness. How awesome is that?
That's super cool,
That
man.
is super awesome.
Because we knew S. Craig Zahler was a big fan, obviously, because Brian had
Oh,
mentioned it
he's-
when he was on.
He's Brian Paulin and Toe Tag Pictures. They're both really huge influences on Zala's work, and for him to write an article about Morbid Vision Films,
It's awesome. I saw it. We had it at the shop.
Oh,
Today.
you saw the? Oh,
Yeah. It was like it was like 4 pages of it. So it's an article. I mean, it's there's photos in there.
Did they
some
still
articles.
have it, or is it gone?
There was one copy. I know. I think someone might have ordered it for himself.
greedy bastard.
But it's a heavy fucking book.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Yeah, there's like great pictures of Brian.
I wonder if
really
it's going to
cool
hit
stuff.
normal
Yeah.
newsstand outlets, because I knew it was in my comic order, but at the time, I still thought I was going to be able to subscribe in time to get episode 1, and then
You
I
can
s-
still get it. You just
well,
won't get the you won't get the like special poster.
right.
But
I
you,
started it. Well, what sucks is I started a job And I've been there for a month, and they're just paying me for the first time today. So it's not their fault. I fucked up, but it just messed up me getting it in time.
So this is awesome. I'm very proud of Brian, and after working with him all these years, it's good to see him getting like, not that he hasn't gotten legitimate press, because he has,
Sure.
but this is the end all be all of promotion for him and his company.
Yeah, hopefully it's a nice little boost.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's got the DVDs and stuff in stock.
Well,
he said he just got in a whole new stock of Fetus. So
Yeah, because he's heading to Rock and Shock. So
oh yeah, he'll be there.
I think the only one of the OG crew that's not going to be there as a vendor is my brother Derek Rook, and that makes me
Yep.
sad. So
Yeah.
Oh, he's not going to be there this year?
Where you been?
What do you mean, where have I been?
We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
not clothes shopping.
I don't remember.
Man, like this is not a good
To-
look for you.
Tow Truck Earl says Tank Top Monster Zero. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know it's
yeah,
true.
That's
Try looking at it from the side. I feel like I'm watching fucking Abdullah the Butcher.
Slagoth says they had 2 copies on the shelf at my comic book store today. Grabbed one. The thing looks gorgeous. Can't wait to dig into it. Fangoria is back. It is coffee table worthy. Yeah, I thought I'd
Yeah.
have mine by now, but have not gotten it yet. So, what are you doing? You trying to kill
Oh,
Mars?
he's trying to stab me like Abdullah the
Jesus.
Butcher.
Oh, okay.
You don't need the fork; it's the sidewinders.
D-Rook says, I'll be back in 2019, bigger, badder, and ready to kill.
Well, I hope
Nice.
there's a table back there. A place to put aside a table at. But
All right, so let's talk about what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet. Jeez. So tonight, we're going to talk about the film Hold the Dark, the latest flick from director Jeremy Saulnier. And then afterwards, we'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing at Rock and Shock, kind of close things out. I think I want to try to hit midnight tonight, try to end. I have a cold, so I need to rest because obviously we got a big weekend. I'm getting over it, so I don't want to be sick at all this weekend, so I don't want to go to bed at 3 or 4 a.m. like I normally do. So we'll try to end around midnight tonight, go home, get a good night's sleep, and then we got a day until Rock and Shock. Oh, one thing I wasn't going to mention, I was just going to surprise you guys, but I'm getting a fucking haircut tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
really,
I'm going to do something, though.
What brought this on?
I don't know. When was the last time I did anything with my hair?
It's been about a decade. Actually, it's
more
been a
than that,
long
90,
time.
So I don't know. I might do something drastic. We'll see.
96.
We'll see.
He's gonna get a mohawk.
No, I cut it in. Well, yeah, I cut it in 96, 97, something like that. Like I chopped it all off, and then I grew it back, and I cut it again in like 2001, 2002.
Has it been that long? Wow.
And since then, I've just kind of like kept it long, and I sometimes will cut it up to like my chin length, let it grow, cut it again. So
I say get a flock of seagulls look.
maybe I will.
My respect for you will jump tenfold if you.
What,
do
you
that.
don't have any respect for me?
No, fuck you.
Why
No,
don't
I
you
have.
have a flock of
I do have
seagulls?
respect for you, but it's very, very little.
Just a little bit.
It's like he does have a penis, but it's very, very little.
Just
It's like a button on a fur coat.
Just a button on a fur coat.
That's right. It's like a
That's what Tony
softball.
Schiavone calls his cock.
It's like it's like my balls are a softball with a Bosco top penis.
Corey says, "LOL, Abdullah." And Leanna's hanging out. What's up,
Nice.
Leanna?
Welcome back.
Hey.
And she says, "Shout out to Aries on the Haunted Mansion shirt." What does it say, Aries?
Nope. Not gonna happen.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
No. Just because you want to hear it so badly.
I don't
No,
give a
I
shit.
don't care.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
I
We
don't
don't need to
care.
listen
Yeah,
to
forget
it.
it.
Fuck yourself.
I don't want to hear it anyways.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Reverse psychology is gonna work. on me. I gotta tell you, I walked through CVS the other day, and
Yeah.
a little plastic ghost said it to me.
Really?
That's funny.
Dude, I'm getting affiliated. You probably don't want to.
Mars Death Kill.
Yeah,
You're a criminal too, Mars.
I am. And I fucking died in a helicopter. Man, I'm a rat.
Derek Rook says, "I'll be coming out to visit you crazy cats this
All
weekend."
right.
Nice.
Nice.
Hopefully he sees the striptease.
Yeah, he's gonna sexy up the place. You watch.
He is sexy.
There it is.
Did you ask him when he got out, Raven Shadow? Derek
yeah.
Rook?
He's been inside a long time. He's fucking big. You know what I mean? Like that dude gets cutter and cutter.
Cutter and Cutter.
Yeah, that's more bigger.
Would you get big if you were in prison?
I
No,
would,
he would just
no,
be-
no.
he
You
would
get
just-
married. That's
He would
probably
just
about
get,
it.
he would just get sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fucking send more shit, please.
I mean,
I need
'cause
like a
I'm
promise.
trying to figure out how
I
many.
mean, you're about as big
How
as
many-
one of Rook's arms right now.
Well, yeah, I'd be friends with Derek Rook in prison.
You know what? Michael
I don't think
Raven
you'd have a
Shadow's
choice.
cigarette measurement would take a different meaning in prison.
Sucks. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no I would.
How many cigarettes for the eye tie?
I would fucking plea bargain like a motherfucker. I'd give everyone's names up.
I'll remember that.
No,
We're not surprised.
Yeah.
I can't do time, man.
I'm telling you this, I've learned an important thing today, and I'm sure it will come up. My small amount of knowledge that I've amassed for a project that I'm working on of high-powered long-distance rifles came up in a conversation today. I'm sure will come up later for some reason. In my explanation for knowing so much, which in reality is a project I'm working on, I said to my special lady friend, I was like, one of these days, I'm going to have to take one of them down, and I want to be able to do it from far away. And she said, do you mean Raven Shadow? I said, yeah, the other one's going to die without any help.
Falling up the stairs.
Right. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
It'll be
My
on a
shin
corpse.
Still hurts from that.
Oh, really?
I think I bruised my bone.
Why you could have? Why don't you go to the fucking doctor?
I don't need to go to a doctor. It just hurts. It'll go away.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it.
How do you know you didn't fucking? You don't like. It's not like what was that picture that got rear-ended? It turned out he got cancer. He got rear-ended outside Fenway, and they took him to the doctor like for an arbitrary thing, and it turned out that he had cancer.
Oh, was it Derek Lowe?
Yeah.
He had like skin cancer, right?
No, he had
No, I
he had
think-
brain cancer.
Oh,
It
I
wasn't
remember
Derek Lowe,
that,
then.
yeah.
No.
No. It was if it's the one you're if it's the brain cancer. I think he was a minor league player.
Mm.
No, it was like he was outside. Hold on, let me look.
All right,
But
yeah, my
I don't
shin-
think our listeners really care either.
But it still hurts. Oh,
I don't really care
boy,
what
does
our
it
listeners
hurt.
think about anything.
Leanna says, seriously, of all the things to have in common with Aries, loving the Haunted Mansion was not one thing I expected.
Oh, that's nice.
You guys have something in common.
Yeah.
You have something in common with a millennial.
Say something about
Sure.
that.
Oh
Aries.
yeah, well I'm at heart I'm a teenage girl.
Yeah,
That's fair.
maybe her beard's real nice. We haven't seen her.
No. What's up? Haunted Mansion? That's the movie with
It's not
The movie.
Fuck the movie.
The movie.
You really are on fire today, and not in the way I want you.
Yeah, I guess we're getting it out the way now. That's good.
After the show, we'll be lining up to take shots at Raven Shadow.
Hey, I don't know. What do I fucking know?
Apparently nothing.
I guess not. This just sucks.
Leanna says she's 24, Aries.
I'm
See?
sorry. It was halfway out of my mouth, and I regretted it. I meant no disrespect. Look at me, I'm being all sensitive.
Just
and
gonna
shit.
let that linger. I know. That's why I was letting that linger. So we are, so that's what's up for tonight. And what else? Guess we'll do some intros, Raven Shadow. You happy about that? All right. I'm Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer for Trick or Treat Radio, the Deadites, and also one of the co-hosts of the Outside Corner Fantasy Baseball podcast, which is now wrapped for the season. So it's done for the season. We're taking a few months off while baseball is the regular season is done. And also one of the co-hosts of the Five Horsemen of Wrestling podcast. And my co-host on the show, one of them anyways, is the immortal gunslinger, singer, and lyricist for the Deadites, Dynamo Mars.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about on that show now that I've divorced New Japan, but I'll figure out something.
You said you got back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still mad. Until we talked about it, I got mad again. But I've been on a lot of podcasts lately promoting the Halloween extravaganza in this show. And I said a lot of nice things about Wolfie while I was on my tour.
That means you didn't say anything nice about anyone else.
I actually said something bad that I never got the opportunity to clarify. I wasn't talking about Aries.
About me?
So no.
Oh,
So
come
I
on,
just-
let's hear it.
No.
Yeah, let's hear it. Come on.
No, somebody asked me what, like I said, something about what Wolfie thinks, and they asked, what do you think, what those other guys think, and I may or may not have said they can all burn in hell, but I forgot about you. Besides, you won't burn in hell.
It's not like we're a room of 50 people.
I know.
What is his beard fire retardant?
No, it's just my dislike is just overcome by my love for you. Okay. It just gets, like, my extreme
Slow
love
down,
for you
Slow down. Backpedaling that fast.
gets
you're gonna
divorced. That's fine. Everyone knows I love you. That's the fucking romance of the decade. But I've been on a fucking shit ton of shows. I was on Retro with Raven J. I was on From the Canopy podcast. I don't think it's hit yet because I fucked up and forgot to send Rocky something. Fuck. But I never went home at all either. Tiny and I recorded an episode of the Stascast. And that was a good time. And I was on Outside the Cinema, and I was on Dr. Chris's terrestrial radio show.
A row on tour.
So yeah, it was a lot of shows and a lot of days. But if you can track any of that stuff down, do, because it was all fun on Outside the Cinema. We're knee deep in Cage-tober, and we talked about Drive Angry. And next, I feel like Raven Shadow would have really.
You should have got on that Mandy episode. You could have gushed more about
Well,
it.
we talked about it a little anyway as it was, but I think if Raven Shadow never saw Next, he would like it because it kind of fits into that like off-brand superhero movie that we,
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it a
it's-
Cage flick?
Yeah. Nick Cage can see 2 minutes into the future.
Hasn't it been other movies like that? Was it always called Next?
Yep,
Came out a couple years back, right?
1990 something.
More than a couple years back.
How many cigarette smokes back was that?
That's
But
a
yeah,
lot.
it was a really great time, and I was really humbled to be, invited on all those shows, with the exception of Outside the Cinema, where I was pretty much like, I'm coming. What are we watching? I'm coming on. But it was a really, 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 great to be on it. I really loved From the Canopy, too, because it was different. I got to talk about current events, which isn't usually something that, I'm invited on to talk about. So when I was on, when we recorded it, was right when Bill Cosby had got sentenced, so we talked about that quite a bit. I wish that show was recorded closer, because I probably wouldn't have enjoyed Fat Albert's Christmas special as much as I did. I watched it, was happy. and-
Yeah, I saw. You like that?
well, I enjoyed it, and then at the end, like after that, a real Fat Albert came on, and there was Bill Cosby, and I remembered all the rapiness. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, this sucks." But and that's why we should hold our celebrities accountable. But it also, as a fan, hurts because I used to fucking love the shit out of Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Never got to watch the Halloween special. Got the opportunity to watch it. Was super psyched, and then within a few minutes, it stole my thunder. Like I was really upset about it. Now, I don't obviously I'm not equating my pain that Bill Cosby has put me through to the pain that he's put other people through, his victims' family, where else. But like, you really, if you're not going to be a good person to be a good person, you should try to be a good person for your fans because, it fucks them up too. So. But yeah, I was on a lot of shows. It was good. It was weird not to have you guys there. It'd been a while since I'd done like a podcast circuit, so
Yeah.
my fucking
The
flow-
Whirlwind Tour.
my flow was off. Yeah, that's probably the most I've ever done in such a consolidated amount of time. By the time I got to it was weird actually. You would think I would be good at the fucking spiel, like saying the show and stuff like that. But the last two I did was I was on Radio Horror at midnight on Sunday, and Outside the Cinema like 9:30 in the morning on Monday, and I think those were the two that I was the worst at the spiel. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to getting better at it because I had said it. We're playing here and this is happening. Like for whatever reason, I was just like, so
I was about to say you should have wrote it down so you could remember it, but you wouldn't be able to read what you wrote anyway.
no,
Wow.
Wow, that was harsh.
yeah.
What? Oh, no, it's truthful.
He can read his own handwriting.
I mean, that's the reason I didn't get paid. Nobody could read my social security number. So,
7.
but it's not a lie.
Looks like we froze again. That's
Yeah.
weird.
It's, Adam Green or cartoon.
Oh, there we go.
So,
What's going on?
but yeah, it was really really cool.
We need a new computer. That's what's going on.
Mm. And plus, I feel like this fucking somebody dropped off a what are they called? When it messes up the electronics. Like one of those.
Oh, the
yeah,
EMP?
EMP.
Yeah.
Because everything was fucked up in my house today. So,
Here, I'm gonna just close some things out and
but
Get-
yeah,
get
thank
some
you.
things
It was cool and it was nice. It's nice to be able to and on the Stascast, we got to talk about the logistics. I got to say nice things about Johnny from a different side of things. Tiny and I both talked about how Johnny's media influence informs some of the stuff we do musically and otherwise, and the CryptoCast and all that stuff. So it was real cool. It was nice talk, to put everybody over and talk about the show and talk about how excited I am and talk about Survival of Film Freaks, and it was pretty fucking good time. It's nice that people want to talk to you. I guess that's the simplest way to put it, right? Like, it's nice that people think enough that they'd like to have you on their show, So, because I don't know why I wouldn't want to have me on. So,
That's nice.
well, I mean,
That is
out of
nice.
all of us, Johnny is the producer. He's the most well-spoken. Monster Zero knows the most about. Well, he knows the fucking
About
shit.
depraved sick
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
I mean, but he knows something about things.
yeah.
Aries, I think, is a very underrated. I really appreciate his film thinking, and Raven Shadow.
Except when he talks shit about
Yeah,
Housewife.
Raven Shadow could certainly in the right show, do his thing and be good. I think I'm just very middling. I don't understand why anybody would want me over these guys, but maybe because I have a better press agent. I
'Cause
think
you
that's all
ask.
it is. Oh, I didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
I only asked. I only asked
Please
OTC.
have me on.
I mean, I asked in the sense where there was the inquiry was put out, but I didn't approach anybody except literally, it was Bill. What are you watching this week? Pretty much, and I'm coming on. Other than that, so and I get to see.
That's aggressive.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm coming
it's
over.
true. Predator early. But yeah, it was cool. I got to talk to Mr. Chris, which I hadn't really.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah, we had good. We weren't mean to each other one time on the whole show. I can remember. So it's cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You done sucking everyone's dick? Can we move on now?
Wow.
Wowzers.
Well, I might have said nice things about you on one show, but I'm not going
Might
to have
have.
them edited out. Huh?
Aries is not going to listen anyway, so he won't.
I know. Well, we did talk about Monster Zero for a while, and Bill said, well, we know he'll listen to it if he finds out that we talked about it. I was like, that's not that one.
No, yeah. All right, we also have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs, Fetus, the upcoming Morbid Tales, and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, and future guest speaker, Monster Zero.
Yeah, that still hasn't been set in stone yet. It's going to happen.
They listen to
I'm
the
still-
episode.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid, but
The Ten Commandments.
I dropped a line informing that I'm still waiting for an email and still haven't heard back yet from anybody. So nothing's happened yet. But as soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know.
All right.
Can you even? You should let us know off air though,
Yeah.
because you don't want fucking, any weirdo showing up at that school.
Weirdos.
Yeah.
Leanna has a good point. She says, if Nicolas Cage could see 2 minutes into the future, why did he accept Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider 2?
You saw
Paycheck.
The paycheck. Yeah.
Paycheck.
He saw
He was
this-
too busy. He needed to pay for his castles and shit.
You know what's funny about that? One thing we did talk about though, that dude fucking loves Ghost Rider. I think that you wouldn't have been able to keep him away from it.
Well,
you
that's
know?
the thing. Ghost Rider 2 wasn't a paycheck. He paid for that.
Right. And to be honest, if he's supposed to be Danny Ketch or whatever that
Johnny
is,
Blaze.
in that one, he definitely made a fucking flat out Midnight Suns era Johnny Blaze movie in Drive Angry. He's fucking a dude in a duster, but he's driving a car instead of a motorcycle that shoots a Hellfire shotgun.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that called?
You've never seen Drive Angry?
No, no.
Oh, you'd fucking dig it the
That's
most.
Raven Shadow every day going to work.
Yeah, you dig it the most, but I mean,
Drive Angry. is
that
pretty
guy
good.
made fucking Ghost Rider for about 5 years. And the other movie he made during that time was Next. That dude likes superhero.
Oh, yeah.
It's
His
you
last
know,
name is Cage.
Right. It's
Well, he was
crazy.
almost Superman, right?
Yeah. That was a weird
Luke
choice.
Cage,
but-
Nick
Yeah.
Cage.
Of all the
Johnny
casting
Cage.
that I can think
It's
of,
Luke Cage.
even with the knowledge that Michael Keaton was Batman in a movie.
Well, just seeing the images of him in that suit,
Yeah.
it's disturbing.
I just can't wrap my head around what makes you
You
think.
haven't seen those Nick Cage in the Superman suit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
yeah,
is.
Yeah, because he's got the long hair with the
Long
bald,
hair
with
and
the,
it's
with
like
the
the-
balding spot.
Yeah.
But to be fair, those were all. That wasn't the actual suit. That was all.
Yeah, it was all-
But
prop.
it's still
It was,
weird.
Oh, sure.
Have you guys seen the documentary?
It's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't think the suit is the weird part. Just I can't
The Death of Superman.
of
Lives,
all
that's
the
what it was called.
again, the blow of Michael Keaton being Batman is erased by the fact that he was pretty good at the end. It's not my Batman. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like it worked, right?
Oh, he shocked
But
everybody.
the fucking
That was for you, MZ. Probably. It's probably directed at you.
Well,
Who's
let me
that?
see.
Creepy Girls
Oh.
posted on Instagram that she's watching us.
she is lovely as the day
That's
is long.
That's nice
Oh,
cleavage shot
yep,
there.
there it is.
Aries.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
You were blowing it, Monster Zero, in ways that I can't even like.
I-
Yeah, you suck.
No, he's not blowing it.
I-
So I introduced him.
I was the last
introduced
one.
Him.
Yeah, we can move on now.
All right. We also have the Triumph Riding, Stage Erecting, Whiskey Drinking, Chief of Security, Warrior of Nor'easters, America's Sweetheart, Producer of Fear, and the Innovator of Silence, and Rick Rubin's stunt double, Ares, God of War.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Which one?
The innovator of the something
Yeah,
of fear.
the fear one.
No, Producer of Fear. You wanted that on there instead of
No, I-
Innovator of Silence.
Well, yeah, but you kept
Yeah,
both of
'cause
them. And I don't remember. Oh, crap.
You said I want that in my title. It was like a
Didn't
couple
say
weeks
I wanted
ago.
my title.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yes,
the
you
man
did.
said I liked it.
Go back. Go back. I specifically added it because you said I want that in my
Well,
title.
then you didn't get rid of the silence thing then.
Right. We don't remove titles.
Yeah, we do.
We add.
We should remove. We should remove.
By episode 600, Raven Chow's is going to be 2 hours long.
Oh, yeah. It'd be the show before the show.
What was that called, Raven Chow?
The amuse bouche.
Thank you.
Appetizer before the appetizer. What
The
you
intro before the intro.
listen- Yeah, get y'all lubed up.
Speaking of lubed up,
Yeah.
we have the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, official smoke chamber for Castle Wolfenstein, the Pipper Promotions, the Italian rapscallion, professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the Sexy Speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, and the Parisian Brew Hall himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
It's creepy that you make eye contact with me the entire time.
Stay with me. Just
Oh,
stay with me.
wow.
We're doing
No.
it together. It's a journey.
No.
Me and you. Come on.
It's creepy. Eye contact that much.
It's sexy.
It's really no. It's creepy.
You're not looking away though.
He's got a
Because-
point.
Well, no. Well, because I can win this. He'll start crying.
That's fair.
Once he has no more hand movements and things to rattle off at me, he'll just start crying.
That's fair. But it was sexy though, right? I feel like we get like a bowl of spaghetti. We just look at each
There's
other.
no
and
sexy
eat it.
crying.
Come on. Not maybe a little bit. All right, no. All right, well.
Slagoth says he named his son Kal-El. Yes, he's a superhero, true comic book fan.
Yes.
Leanna says Michael Keaton was my first Batman, so he kind of is my Batman if Kevin Conroy didn't exist.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Corey says they redeemed Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, it is.
I heard that
I
was
like
good.
that Ghost Rider too. I mean, it's hard for me to like. Batman is that one character that I'm a little precious about. Like that, I feel like I don't like. I just feel like there has been so many good comic iterations by so many, Miller, O'Neill, Max Allan Collins, so many people that like have had their work like adapted in to films almost spot on. Like the fact that they can't get Batman right is just so fucking frustrating to me. It just drives me crazy.
Well, I
Like,
don't think it's about it. That's right. I don't think is the right term. I think what I want to see is the detective Batman.
yeah, no, I agree to that.
Yeah.
I just think that they don't like they have never made a film that has like forget about the detective work, the essence of Batman, which is a human being that's pushing himself to like superhuman levels. They always fucking make him Iron Man or make it all James Bond
Agreed.
gadgety. And, like, so for me, you're taking out, like, all it is the name Batman, where Chris Reeves was everything that for me is good about Superman, so.
I think the thing is that they're afraid that it won't be enough action if it's a detective movie, which I think is bullshit because you can have enough action.
I
in
don't
it,
think those Chris Nolan movies are fucking super action-packed, though. I think that they have
Oh,
the same.
you're right. I guess. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
you're right.
I mean,
But
they
there's
have
no
the same beats as James Bond movies, really, but not.
There's no detective work in them.
No, zero.
I mean, well, there's one bullshit bit of detective that I
Well, he does,
can't even figure. I'm sorry, Johnny's blowing
but he does
lines over there.
gadgets, right? I think we're talking about the same thing with
like Nick Cage and Mandy.
like putting in the where he manages to tap into like all the surveillance
No,
stuff.
no, no.
like-
I'm
okay.
talking about. I I forgot which one. He collected a bunch of bricks and fired off different rounds into the bricks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was. I don't even remember what they were trying to do and everything, but I was like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
Did he do some detective work in Justice League?
Yeah, he figured out who everyone was.
no, he bought that.
Did he buy it?
Yeah, he bought it. He like fucking.
Didn't he do some detective work to find out who the was invading? Wasn't there a couple things there? I don't remember.
No,
I
like
mean, he did. Well, he did cyber detectiving in this.
Did you
the
say
Batman
detective ring?
detectiving.
he certainly arbitrarily
Detective in
decided
comics.
that the mother box would bring fucking Superman back to life with
No.
prior
In
knowledge of
the
it.
in the Batman Superman, like the whole deciphering the
Oh, the Kryptonian shit?
yeah,
Kryptonian, the
Atlantean.
with the fucking photos. I can't think of what it's called. The little thing.
Oh, the
His
the
Facebook profile.
No, I'm looking at the wrong guy for a technology thing.
the microfilm.
What are we in the 70s?
Microfiche.
but modernize that. Yes. What is it? The fucking thing you put in the USB port.
Oh,
It's a thumb drive.
Thumb drive.
Flash
Thumb drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. He deciphered that.
we have never
All the fucking references.
never sounded like-
Microfilm.
we have never seemed older.
Leanna,
you.
what's he using?
You were the one that said microfilm.
Whatever.
It's a Polaroid.
You were the one that didn't know what a thumb drive was.
I drew a fucking blank. I'm sorry.
Well, not Batman, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's there. It's out there. There's a fucking Scott Adkins. Like, it's fucking there. That's
Corey says Ice-T has been a better detective on SVU.
yeah, for sure. And that's what's crazy. All these fucking procedurals are the fucking hotness on television. You can't throw a little of that in, you know? Dexter, like all the shit that they did on Dexter, like people dig it.
The procedurals are dying on TV right now.
Really?
Yeah, but Batman's been going
There's
for
way-
fucking
There's way too many of them.
30 years. You know?
Yeah, well, they missed the boat.
Right. Well,
Leanna,
Back in the mid-'90s, they should have made a Batman TV show
I agree.
That would have
That-
been awesome, wouldn't it? In the
that just
90s?
would have been all detective work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would have been good. You're right, Raven Chow.
It
No, I
would've-
don't know.
Yeah, fucking Mantis at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, Bat fucking
Bad
Bat Vice or
detective.
some
Yeah.
shit.
I define werewolf.
Gotham Vice.
Gotham Vice, which would actually be kind of cool.
that would be. I define anyone to look at the right picture of Scotty Atkins and tell me that dude's not Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Grayson and Bruce have
He's
with
got the
polyester
fucking cleft in his
costumes.
chin. He's fucking beautiful. He's brooding. He does the karates.
Okay, yeah, let me show you how old I am. Who the fuck is this?
Just fucking.
He's a B
you're
action.
Not, you're not.
Yeah.
Dude, bite your tongue.
He has that diet.
He's-
Everyone
He's
fucking
B in
buys.
action, but A in my heart.
All right. Well, what I said wasn't wrong.
No.
Oh,
He's a bit.
Neither of you guys are coming to the wedding.
What wedding?
Me and
If it hasn't happened yet.
the Atkins Mars wedding.
when you get married to a cardboard cutout.
No, I'm gonna go on the Atkins diet if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
But no carbs. But the yeah, no, I mean that, like, find a fucking picture. Put in Scotty Atkins without his shirt on and tell me that that's
No.
not fucking Jim Aparo.
Ooh,
Like
give me a
Batman.
phone, MZ.
Leanna says Michael Keaton Batman figured out Joker's identity, the dangerous chemicals in the products, Penguin's identity, and plan sabotage Penguin's campaign. Sligo says to really decompress that they would only be able to do it properly in a TV series of Batman.
I don't know.
And Evil
Movie's
Corny
like
says Batman
5
Mask,
hours long now.
Mask of the Phantasm was the best Batman film.
That's a good one. I mean, I agree with her in the sense that, you know, Kevin Conroy is my Batman. Like, that's the thing that comes the closest to me to, like, any sort of interpretation of Batman. That's what I want from Batman.
All right, so let's. I got everyone right. Raven Chat, I got you.
Did a really good job.
Didn't we watch a 5.5 hour detective movie this week?
No.
Like, you can make Batman do some shit.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
people were shooting guns. You can make it happen. Cars were blowing up. The fucking wolves. Like, you can do it.
It fucking took a turn at various points.
All right, so if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Head over to trickortreatradio.com. You're going to see on the right-hand side, scroll down, there is a few things on there. You can find a link to the greatest hits. Just click on the greatest hits image. There's some social media there if you want to follow us on social media. And then if you want to subscribe to us, if you haven't done so yet, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and Satchel Podcast Player. And also leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate it if you did, especially on Apple Podcasts. Apple's been giving a lot more love lately to Apple Podcasts and even putting out like a weekly newsletter about like things you should be checking out. So it's definitely the best platform or the most used platform. So if you guys are so inclined and you haven't done so yet, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let folks know why you dig the show and why they might like it. And also, if you scroll down further, you see a Amazon logo. Click on it, and it'll bring you right to Amazon.com. It'll put on our affiliate link. Doesn't cost you any extra, but Raven Shadow.
It helps keep the lights on.
So if you use our link, it'll give us a tiny little cut of everything you purchase just for sending you there. We also have a donate button if you want to go ahead and donate through PayPal. You can do so. Put in any denomination that you would like. And also on the store, click on store, and you'll find that we have digital content, Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits Volume 1 through 3. We got some T-shirts. There's limited sizes available, so if you guys want to get in on that, go ahead. And also some buttons and some other digital content. So give that a look. All right, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Hold the Dark. What do you do to prepare for this movie?
I just get excited, Johnny. We got the Deadites October 12th at the Cove Music Hall. We got Rock and Shock Weekend. We got guest surprises and a live podcast on Saturday, 3 to 5. So I strap on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh,
Don't say that.
You really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. Huh?
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really
just
are. You got
say
a
that again
great show.
slowly.
My name's Jason Voorhees from Camp Crystal Lake. And since I only ever kill people that had sex, all those little virgins on the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group have nothing to fear from me. They're too busy talking about horror movies, comics, video games, RPGs, and all the disgusting, dumb, nerdy stuff that those boys on the Trick or Treat Radio podcast talk about. They'll never have any time to meet a girl, and if they do meet a girl, she'll just be as dorky as them. That's right, the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook page has tons of girls on it. Well, 4 or 5, 3. A few girls, all right? Now get off my back. They only gave me $50 to do this promo. So go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, join the group, and start talking nerd. When the show ends, the discussion just begins. Copyright. Fuck you, Michael Raven Shadow.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deadites, is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. A cheeseburger. Remember to rent The Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can get you on the show again sometime soon.
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. And we're going to talk about Hold the Dark.
Hold the Dark.
This film from 2018 is an adventure drama mystery. And it is directed by Jeremy Saulnier and written by Macon Blair, based on a novel from William Giraldi. And the film stars Jeffrey Wright, Riley Keough, Michael Tales, Alexander Skarsgård, and for some reason the main cop is not even listed on the first page of cast members, but that would be James Badge Dale, who was awesome as Donald Merriam. And the synopsis: after the deaths of 3 children suspected to be killed by wolves, writer Russell Core is hired by the parents of a missing 6-year-old boy to track down and locate their son in the Alaskan wilderness. So this flick just dropped on Netflix. I believe it was October 2nd. It was very recent, so within about a week or so ago. And this is, I would say, kind of a big get for Netflix. Jeremy Saulnier, obviously, Green Room did hit theaters and did fairly well in theaters. That was his first, I think, big theatrical run. Prior to that, he did Blue Ruin and Murder Party, which I know Mars has been raving about for years. Right, Mars?
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's a very, like, Green Room is it's almost like Green Room is the movie that, like, took a turn, because from Murder Party to, like, Blue Ruin, there's a very natural progression in his style that I think was continued here. But Blue Ruin is like the kind of Coen, like, I feel like there's a very big Coen Brothers element of him, and I feel like Murder Party is a little more of that fun madcap to Coen Brothers.
Yeah, and it's sort of Coen Brothers in terms of kind of quirky stories, but without the black comedy to go with it, or not as much, anyways. So it sort of has that sort of surrealistic, like slight surrealistic style to it, without the black comedy of let's say a Coen Brothers flick. So, all right, so Hold the Dark. This, so I was looking forward to this. I didn't even know. Once again, I think we were all shocked that it dropped on Netflix, but apparently Netflix did purchase it prior to it even getting filmed, like to them even beginning production. Netflix picked it up. So, and it's also A24, Mars. Did you know that?
I didn't notice that, no.
Yeah, I don't know if it...
No,
I think
it didn't show.
I think they originally were involved. I don't know if Netflix taking over, superseded that. I'm not sure. But at some point, at least, they were involved. But, I did not remember seeing their logo at all. So maybe not. So this is the follow-up to Green Room. And... all right, well, what'd you guys think of this flick? So we've obviously been a big fan of Jeremy Saulnier. We loved Blue Ruin for the most part, right? I think all of us, for the most part, loved it.
Great flick.
Amazing. And
masterpiece.
I enjoyed it. That was the one with Gosling, right? No. No, I know. Yes, I do. Sorry. I was somewhere. I was thinking about something else.
It was like the revenge movie that went wrong.
Yes.
Like where the guy was just a complete fuck up and
Yes.
yeah, and couldn't get revenge, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I loved Green Room.
In Green
very
Room, yeah.
much.
And Mars, you didn't think Green Room was the best movie of the year?
No, but I really like.
I know. I'm just
Jesus
kidding.
fucking Christ! That whole
he's
that
right.
witch hunt, like put
Oh,
like
don't
fucking
even call it that.
It was
put fucking
good, but vastly overrated.
put the fucking Gray conspiracy to shame and how the vitriol that people came there so that I didn't like a movie enough.
Well, it's funny, like watching this. Like, I was really sucked into it, and I kind of, as it kind of progressed, I'm thinking like this is what Mars is going to think The Gray is about.
Yeah, I was literally going to make the joke like, Mars, we tricked you into watching The Gray.
Well, did you notice in the chat room that like 5 minutes in I started complaining?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I was like, this is going to be a wolf punching movie, isn't it?
I thought the same thing.
So, before we jump too deep into it, I also want to mention that Medora Sloan, the mother, was played by Riley Keough, I think is how you pronounce that, and she is the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley, who also in turn is the granddaughter of Elvis.
Yeah,
which is kind
and
of
also was
interesting.
married to Nicolas Cage.
Lisa Marie was, yeah.
Yeah,
but
you could see it.
Nicolas Cage is not her father. It was the first marriage of Lisa Marie Presley.
You could see it. You could see the look. She does have a little bit of an Elvis thing going on.
Really?
Wasn't she married to Michael Jackson too, or am I thinking of somebody?
Yeah,
else?
Lisa
the guy,
Marie
the guy who is Riley Keough's dad was the first marriage, and then I know this just because I read Wikipedia right before we went on the air, but she divorced him and within 2 weeks married Michael Jackson.
That seems like a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
and they said it wouldn't last.
Yeah.
And she was also in Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road.
If Michael Jackson was her dad, I feel like she would have turned into the character in this movie.
What was the author? What else was he in? I know I've seen that guy.
Macon Blair, the one who wrote the screenplay?
No,
the
Jeffrey
guy-
Wright.
The
he's been in tons of stuff. Yeah.
He was in Shaft, Manchurian Candidate.
I don't know if you guys ever saw one of his first films was he played Basquiat, the artist Basquiat.
Yes.
When he had like dreads in it.
Yep.
This is like in the 90s, mid to late 90s.
Okay. Well, the beer was throwing me off. I'm like, I know this dude.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff though.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
He's great.
He's done a lot of TV. If you look through his filmography, you'll see a bunch of things.
Yeah, Shaft. He was in.
And then also had which Skarsgård was it? Alexander Skarsgård, who's also one of the the amazing Skarsgårds,
famous fighting Skarsgård.
Yeah,
family.
exactly.
They're gonna WrestleMania. They're gonna team up against the Thor family.
And he was, I guess, maybe best known for True Blood, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he was also Tarzan in that most recent Tarzan movie.
Yeah, I like that Tarzan movie.
So
it was dumb as Get Out, but I mean it was Tarzan.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
What?
You just said you liked it, and then you said it was dumb.
I can appreciate shit that's dumb.
Look, I like a lot.
He
of
likes
dumb
MZ.
things. In the award-winning Survival of the Film Freaks featuring Dynamo Mars and Johnny Wolfenstein, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Jack Bennett quoted a famous critic in saying to appreciate high art, you have to appreciate low trash.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So
And he's absolutely right.
Now, I like some bad movies, but I don't like any dumb movies.
No, sorry. Like
any movie that I would classify as dumb, I mean that's.
Yeah, but what might not be dumb to you might be dumb to someone else.
But he said dumb.
I think Star Wars is fucking dumb. Like try fucking explaining those fucking first 3 Star Wars movies without making it sound like a hillbilly.
1, 2, and 3 you're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
like
there's
100
movies
4,
you can
5,
do
6.
that.
Yeah,
that
4,
is-
5, 6. Right?
Oh, you're talking about 4, 5,
Well, yeah, but I think it's dumb.
The Duke could
but I
tell
like him.
Duke could tell Cracker Skywalker was something about him in a spaceship, over 100 feet away, but didn't know his own daughter was 2 feet in front of him and he was torturing her.
Right.
Space incest.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like it's just not. It's not. Just it didn't challenge me in any sort of way. It's just fun. This fucking gorillas fucking beating shit up and crocodiles taking out ships. I was fucking on a boat and drunk. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but you don't need to be challenged every time you watch a movie. You could just sit back and be entertained.
Right, but it doesn't, because I'm entertained doesn't make it smart. Didn't make it,
Well, he's saying it doesn't have to be smart to be entertained.
I agree.
Yeah. Look how much I love the Police Academy movies.
Yep, Police
Those
Academy
are
movies.
beyond dumb.
Police
and I
Academy
love
movies,
'em.
dumb.
And I love them.
Part 2 was brilliant.
Part 2 is fucking the
It's
best,
fucking the
man.
best movie ever.
There's no denying that.
Yeah, I agree.
This room is making my head hurt.
Why?
They're dumb movies. They're brilliant, but they're dumb movies.
Corey says, I like the Tarzan 2. He says it was beautiful trash.
There's in two. Oh, two
As
as
well.
Electric,
yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
They made a sequel?
Still
Fine
Tarzan.
swinging boogaloo.
People wonder why I just sit here quietly and observe.
And drink whiskey.
Evil Dead 2. Dumb.
Well,
It's
the
amazing.
idea behind it is
Yeah.
dumb. The execution is fucking
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Why is the idea dumb?
Brilliant.
Well, it's just a bunch of people going up to a cabin in the woods.
Yeah,
Where
at that point,
where there's an evil presence going on. That's pretty as simple.
at
and
that point, it
dumb.
wasn't overdone though.
Yeah,
But the way it was presented was about as well as it could possibly be presented. And it couldn't be made any better than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Brilliant.
behind the camera. It's one of the most important films of all time. Like from a technical point of view, like
Oh, don't say that around Raven Shadow.
What?
Wow.
Important.
Is that a person or like
that
is
is important.
somebody gonna fucking bust out and scam me again?
Huh?
Like the door keeps almost opening. I hope it's the.
It's probably
Which door?
the wind.
Oh, my God!
That better be somebody we know.
I think it's one of Tiny's animatronics.
This is what happened to fucking Run DMC, man.
Hey!
It's our annual visit.
Somebody get this man a chair.
Get him
and
a chair,
microphone.
MZ.
Someone get Mars a diaper.
This is exciting.
Ladies
is
and
exciting.
gentlemen, we are joined by a member of the Deadites, radio personality, legend, and creator of the Rock and Shock Festival.
It's a
We
festival
call him
now.
Andy Christ. You might know him better as Kevin Barbary.
Thank you. I was listening outside for like 10 minutes before I came in because I wanted to see what you guys said. My problem, I have to comment on a couple things. First of all, Evil Dead 2, my problem with it was just a higher budget version of the first movie.
Right.
That's all I thought it was. Just
Yeah,
rehashing. Second, this is a good story. That was not a good story. In 1988, I was in Atlanta going to a concert with my girlfriend at the time. I think
Excellent
actually,
story.
let's go earlier than that. I think it was 1984. I was going
Oh,
to a
wow.
concert with my
Okay.
girlfriend at the time, and we were in Atlanta. And we went on an elevator at the Omni Hotel, which isn't there anymore. I got on the elevator, and on that elevator were Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp, stars of the very popular Breakin' and Breakin' 2
Yes.
Electric Boogaloo movies.
Are you kidding me?
And I knew it was them because apparently they dress like that all the time. Because I was like, hey, Boogaloo Shrimp, like Shabba-Doo. And they're like, hey, how you doing? And I rode up on the elevator with them. I don't know if they're going to the concert, if they're just like, looking for extra break-in money in Atlanta or whatever. But that's my break-in story. I was
That
going to
is
the Power Station concert.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
How were you dressed, Kevin?
Let me
Probably
think about
quite
this.
similar.
Right, he was dressed like Robert Palmer.
I was probably just like, or one of the Durans.
Nice.
That is awesome. Did you know that it was not Shabba-Doo, but the other one,
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Yeah.
Did you know Boogaloo Shrimp? He played Robo Urkel in Family Matters.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But he has also kissed a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know either. I mean, Family Matters was, I acknowledge that it was popular, but it was a little bit past the age that I would have watched a show like Family Matters. I don't think I ever would have watched a show like Family Matters, actually, but I do acknowledge the fact that at some point people
It
did watch
also
that
seems
show.
a little past the point of like when sitcoms were something like that people did, and it started to be like shit that was just on Sunday night at 6 o'clock.
I think Family Matters was just ABC's desperate attempt to like replicate the popularity of the Cosby Show. and it just happened to, to happen. And we see how both of those went.
Hey, Boogaloo, can you do that thing with the broom again?
Oh yeah, he did the thing with the broom. I forgot about that.
Was he dancing on the ceiling of the elevator when you walked in? Or?
He wasn't. Wait.
Well, it's so great to have you here, man. You look awesome.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I've been going all day. I actually went before. I was hosting trivia down at a place in Worcester, and before that, I had to go to the Telegram, and they did an interview with me there. Did you know the Telegram has a podcast?
Yeah.
The Worcester Telegram.
Oh, is it the one with Victor?
Yeah, it's Victor, Craig, and someone else.
Yes,
they rotate out.
Oh, okay.
That's the one.
Okay,
Yeah. So I did that. And then went to trivia, and then drove out here.
Nice.
And it's on a world tour tonight.
Yeah, you are.
The world tour.
Well, I would be remiss if we didn't talk to Kevin about Rock and Shock. So let's hit the pause button on the film discussion. By the way, have you seen Hold the Dark? By the way,
no,
Kevin?
that's why I kind of waited, because I want to let you guys get a little bit of talk out about it, because I have not seen it.
So
I have seen the other films.
Yes,
but I have not seen this one.
So
I am familiar with it, though.
We'll put the put the pause button on right now, and we'll get a little bit deeper into Rock and Shock, because we have the creator of Rock and Shock with us. And
you are welcome to finish talking about Hold the Dark if you want. I mean, it's up to you. I don't want to interrupt the flow of this finely tuned machine.
There is no flow.
I see the script. I've strayed off the script that you guys carefully craft.
It's all fucked now, Kevin. Cue Buster.
No wolves got punched in it. I'll just tell you that in case you're worried.
Well, in my opinion, I would rather utilize your skills on the mic than have you just sit here and hang out. So, so we will return to the discussion. But what's awesome about Rock and Shock this year, Kevin?
Well, we, a couple of years ago, I went to the Rhode Island Comic Con, and when I was there, there's this company called Feature Presentation, and you've probably seen them if you've ever been to any of these conventions, Comic Cons or whatever. They build sets and they bring them, and they've had, they had the organ from Goonies. And, I'm trying to think of what else they've had some dungeon sets from the Marquis de Sade series, and they've built Freddy's Boiler Room from Nightmare on Elm Street, the Hellraiser room where the cube opens up with the chains and everything. And a couple of years ago, right before Twin Peaks premiered, they built the Red Room from Twin Peaks, and it was amazing. And it was, we went to the Rhode Island Comic Con not expecting this to be there. When we saw it, they didn't even have Twin Peaks guests this year, by the way.
Yeah.
And we saw this thing. We're like, wow, I really got to get this thing to Rock and Shock, get some Twin Peaks guests, which we've had a couple in the past, but we haven't had any recently. And then when the show came out, and it did really well, a lot of people were talking about it. Ended up having some guests booked that ended up not happening at the last minute, and they were going to be Twin Peaks related. So I didn't think this was going to happen. Then we ended up with Dana Ashbrook and James Marshall, who played James Hurley and Bobby Briggs on Twin Peaks, the original series, and on The Return, and in the movie. And I got in touch with them, and we said, hey, would you guys do a photo op in the Red Room if we bring the Red Room? And they've not even seen this thing, so they're going to be blown away. I mean, it looks exactly like the thing from the show. So we've got this coming up this weekend. It's going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's in the front room, and this is the first time any actual stars from films that these sets have been built for have done photos in them. And and I'm not trying to plug it for the money. I just think it's really cool because I'm a huge Peaks fan.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive at all. I mean, to get a photo with the both of them in this room, it's actually really cheap if you compare it to other shows.
Yeah.
And Derek Mears is back this year, who was also in an episode of Twin Peaks.
Oh, right, yeah.
On the
new season.
Yes,
or the most recent.
On the losing end of a arm wrestling match with Agent Cooper's alter ego. And Dana Ashbrook also has the horror background because he started in Return of the Living Dead 2. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we're excited to have them. And a couple of the people we haven't had in years. I don't know if you guys knew this. This is the first time Linda Blair has ever been to Rock and Shock.
I was surprised when I saw you guys announce that. I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I saw it was the first time. I was like, "Wow, that's amazing to me."
Yeah, she's on my bucket list. It's been
this is the 16th year, is it, Kevin?
Yeah. And the reason she's never been is when we first started doing Rock and Shock. Spooky World was just on the cusp of, being
Right.
gone from Berlin, and it was in another place, and it was huge. And she was making her
Foxborough,
appearances
yeah.
there every month.
Yep.
And every October. So at that point, she had freed herself up in October. So she started doing all these horror conventions, and she was gone all the time. This is the first October she's actually been free and
Oh,
available
wow.
for us to have her. So it just worked out. And I don't think she's done a show in the area. Definitely not a horror show, but hasn't done a show in the area in years. So this is first time we've had Linda Blair from
Awesome.
The Exorcist, and it's a big deal. We have Scott Reniger from Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Galen Ross, who were at our very first Rock and Shock. And this is the 40th anniversary of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're excited to have them. Scott's one of the nicest guys ever, and he was also in the remake.
Yes.
Had a scene
Yep.
in the remake on the television.
One of the nicest things and most important things that I think anybody's ever done for me, and I'll speak for Tiny too,
Yeah.
is that you brought us to that after party, and we got to hang out with those guys.
Oh,
You
the
know,
first
like,
year.
Yeah, and it's there's somewhere there's great pictures of Tiny and Ken Fury working on their kicks.
Oh, yeah.
High kicks. So it was like a
Yeah.
real awesome. Like
We were talking about that today. The first year we did Rock and Shock, there weren't first of all, there weren't any conventions in the area that really competed on that kind of level. I
Yeah.
mean, you had a Comic-Con once a year and everything, but you didn't have the huge Boston Comic-Con, and you didn't have the gigantic Rhode Island Comic-Con, and you didn't have any other conventions that catered to these kind of people. So the first year we started, we were able to get like everybody I wanted pretty much. And we had everybody from Dawn of the Dead. We had Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator. We had, except for Linda, we had Eileen Dietz, who starred in The Exorcist and played
Yep.
the alter, the possessed Reagan. All these people that now it's old hat to see them a lot of places. And it's nice that they remember that and they came back now, and now there's so many conventions, and we've kind of scaled it down this year. I don't know if you guys know. This year we're doing a little bit of a smaller show just this year because Super Mega Fest, who are very good friends of ours and very nice guys, we've always tried not to compete with them. They had a situation where they had to move back to their original hotel that they used to do their show at. So it ended up they could only get one a weekend. It's the same weekend as our show. And unfortunately that, even though it's not the same audience, we're trying to play it safe, get good guests, but do a small show, get the same amount of people in. I mean, we're sold out, so that's good.
That's great.
But try to be a little more wary this year so that next year, when everybody's back in a new spot, it'll be bigger and better. So I don't want anybody to think that we're like doing a smaller show because we're not going to do it anymore. That's not it at all. It's just a case of we want to make sure there's enough for everybody and it's a profitable thing for everyone and fun for the fans.
That's great.
There's a lot of bang for the buck though too. Like it's a
Yeah,
great
I'm
guest
stoked.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, and for people who haven't been before, every guest is somebody that a horror fan, if you've never met them, it's a good get.
Yeah.
So it's
I
we're
mean,
excited.
The whole world was like, I know I'm a different breed of cat, but the whole world was like Linda Blair, The Exorcist, and I was like, oh my God, Linda Blair, Grotesque.
Yeah.
Chained Heat, I'm going.
Chained Heat, yeah. What was the
Savage Streets, the vigilante one there? Was that what
what
that
was the one that was the after school special there that
I
where
know.
she was in with the Coke bottle.
Alcoholic.
Yeah, Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic.
Yeah.
Teenage
Yeah.
alcoholic. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That as a matter of fact, I heard that's. I think it's Vinegar Syndrome's putting that out.
Oh really?
At the beginning of the year.
Oh wow.
Beginning of next year or
It's
February.
too bad they didn't have it ready to go for Rock and Shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean Malcolm McDowell, I think this is his third time that I can think of right off the top of my head, maybe fourth time. He's coming this year, and if you've never watched his Q&A, it's extremely entertaining because he has worked with everybody. So he's just got great stories about anybody you can think of that's in the past 50 years that he's been in the movie industry.
Oh sure. I was at a Q&A with him in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Monster Mania, and he's playing up to the fans, and everybody's eating it up, and he's having a ball.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there watching him. I'm pretty close to the back of the crowd, and who comes in and stands about maybe 4 feet away from me? Dario Argento.
Oh. Yes.
So, I mean, here I am standing almost right next to Dario Argento watching Malcolm McDowell give a Q&A.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's about as surreal
Are
as
you
it gets.
positive it wasn't Emo Williams?
Could have been.
You should have gone, Dario, how did you get out of the basement?
Butterfingers.
Is my face deep red?
And you know, for
If I saw Asia today, I'd say, how did you get out of the basement?
and you know, for fans of Lost, we actually have two people who were a regular character on Lost appearing this year. Andrew Divoff, who was the Wishmaster, who's obviously he has been before as well. And he was on Lost with Jeremy Davies, who played Daniel Faraday on Lost for a few seasons. And also, if you've never seen Jeremy as Charles Manson in Helter Skelter, there was a remake of Helter Skelter a few years ago, and he played Charles Manson. He was excellent in it. And also, Jeremy was in Twin Peaks: The Return as well, so he's another guest we just happened to randomly have there.
And how big of a deal is it for you to have Lost people on? Because I know you're a Lost super fan.
You know, my son and I are both huge Losties. We actually have people who are traveling just to come to this show because we have
Lost people. 2
Lost people in the show because they usually end up at Walker Stalker for some reason. And even though you know, it's nice to meet all the Lost people, it's even I, as a huge Lost fan, don't really want to negotiate the crowd of a Walker Stalker convention to get to those people.
Right.
So that's good for us.
I mean, if somebody you and I age showed up at one of them, we'd end up on a list, I think.
Yeah, we'd end up on a list to get in and then waiting in line.
Not that kind of list. I think it'd be like
the list. Oh yeah. You guys
not allowed to go near parks anymore.
You guys need to stay 150 feet away from
exactly.
Evangeline Lilly.
You guys are quadruple the age of the next youngest. You're old enough to be their father's fathers. But the you know, it's you mentioned Wishmaster, and that's a real interesting get there because when he was there last time, I hadn't seen Wishmaster yet. You know, and that's kind of the cool thing about about horror conventions. I just watched it early in the year. It's kind of the cool thing about horror conventions. Like, you know, people can say, "Oh, well, you know, like for someone like me who's watched a lot of horror movies, I still haven't watched everything." So, like, I saw Wishmaster, and I really dug it. So it's gonna be cool to, you know, to meet him under the pretense of like, you know, being a fan of that movie now.
Yeah, and that's what Wishmaster was one of those movies that had a lot of cameos by people you knew from other horror movies. So I mean,
Ted Raimi gets squished right at the beginning.
Yeah, and Joe Pilato's in it, and Reggie Bannister, Tony Todd. I mean, it's kind of
Tony Todd is my favorite part because
I think Robert Englund is in it as well. Isn't
I believe he is. Yeah,
I think he is.
Yep.
That's
he's an art dealer. Yeah.
And Bill Moseley is here this year, and the 3 from Hell sequel to Devil's Rejects, Thousand Corpses, coming out soon, so he'll be there to talk about that. And we have Ari Mihailoff, who hasn't been in a few years, who was in Hatchet 2, and also wait, was it Hatchet 2 or 3? Where he was, his head was like 2. On the table. Was it 2? Yeah. It was also
the one
Leatherface.
Where they had the posse, right?
What's that?
The one where they had the posse around up to go. Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, Kelly Maroney. You're bringing the names up here. I can see now. Yeah, Kelly Maroney. Who it's interesting. We've had requests to get her for a few years, and I'm not sure if it's because of Night of the Comet, or if it's because was she in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies? I know her from Night of the Comet and from Chopping Mall.
Yeah,
but Chopping Mall is the big one that I know.
Yeah, I know her from all those and Fast Times. That was her
I mean,
debut. But she was never in a Nightmare film.
Okay,
I'm not even criticizing him, but those you know after Nightmare 4 through 6 are like a fucking fever dream. So I can't even remember what ones what went on in any of those movies.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, it looks like she's been doing a lot, been keeping busy actually, Kelly Maroney.
Yeah, she's popular with the fans. I mean, I just I wasn't. Outside of Night of the Comet, I wasn't sure how she keeps up with all the people, but she can, she's got that crossover with Fast Time, so she can do any kind of convention and people
in Scream Factory a couple years. I'm pretty sure Scream Factory a few years ago put out that nice Night of the Comet, so she probably has a whole new generation of fans.
Well, she can also cross over with an older crowd too, because she was also in One Life to Live. For
What do you mean older?
Well, she was back in One Life to Live on the soap operas back in the.
I've got 1 month to live.
early-
What?
Back in like the mid '80s. So.
Wow, Monster Zero's arthritis has arthritis.
What decade do you think the Comet came out in?
That came out in what?
That's in the
86?
80s,
Yeah,
right?
well, same decade. I mean,
right.
you're not like
Yeah, I know.
stretching the viewer audience
All
here.
right, maybe I am.
No, you're not.
She was also in Scream Queen Hot Tub Party.
Yes.
I have to admit, I've actually seen that.
Nice.
I have seen Scream Team. It has Linnea Quigley in it.
Sold.
Brink Stevens.
I so
Monique
love
Gabrielle.
Oh yeah.
Jules Shepard.
Nice.
And it's pretty much what it says it is.
There you go.
There it
Red
is.
Shadow.
Scream
Yeah.
Queen Hot Tub Party.
Let's make that room, Kevin. All right? Enough with the fucking red room. Let's make a real.
No.
hot tub.
You don't want that room now.
Does it-
Oh, I gotta tell you,
I
you
will
know,
take Brink Stevens.
take your
any
shirt off,
day of
Aries.
the
Yeah, let's
goddamn
count your
day.
I don't want to,
Junior.
because I respect the viewing audience.
one of my one of my favorite things that ever happened at a Rock and Shock.
Yes.
Everyone else was away from the table. No, this is not any of the embarrassing Angela Bettis stories. I'm just sitting like by myself, like setting up or doing something. I was there early, and like somebody was at the table, and they go, "I just wanted to let you know, I think your makeup is really great. I've been watching you the last couple days." And I go, "Oh, thanks." And I look up. I go, "Thanks so much." I look up, and it's fucking Brink Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Walked over the
Wow.
table.
Yeah.
She goes, "I've set up across from you guys, and I've seen you."
You know,
You know?
they could never make a movie like Scream Queen Hot Tub
No.
Party these days. It would be called like Me Too with a question mark.
Yeah, right.
Hashtag Me Too.
There was a whole like submarket that was part of horror. Like I got that Scream Queen magazine, and it was not for the articles.
Yeah, I mean, look
You
at
know?
all those women that we know from the horror convention who got their start basically just doing these movies where they're naked at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I
Linnea
just-
Quigley's was it Chainsaw Workout? She did like
mean,
a
look at-
chainsaw
there was-
workout
That doesn't
thing.
sound very practical. Working
He
out with
used
a
that-
chainsaw, not
That's
ideal.
Fred Owen Ray. Is that who did
Yep.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and stuff like
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
I believe
Fred
he did
Owen
the
Wright.
Scream Queen Hot Tub Party.
There's that was again, me and you were the only ones that were laughing as hard, but there's a great little thing about that era of exploitation in Survival of the Film Freaks where they show, all the ladies running amok with chainsaws and stuff,
Right,
and all that,
right.
like kind of the Scream Queen era and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I think I got that Hollywood Scream Queen Hot Tub Party and sorority girls in the slime ball.
Ball.
Sorority
Oh,
babes
yeah.
and slime ball bolorama.
Yeah.
Both at the same time.
With Michelle Bauer.
Michelle Bauer.
I was walking through the convention last year, and a friend of ours was selling it, Baronis, and like literally, I just walked by and it was like a fucking football handoff. Like he just like put it in my. He goes, I know who this is for. He just like gave it to me. I'm like went for my wallet, and he's like, nope, that needs to just live at your house.
Yes.
So like I still love my old Uncle Impy.
Those are the classics.
Yeah, I mean, but it's again like I don't think like what's interesting about those is that after all this time, there was never like anything that like, like you think the Cosby Show is all like fucking wholesome and everything else. None of those ladies ever came out, and like you never heard anything about like Fred Owen Ray or any of those like what's his name Sedaris or any of those being like having those be like toxic sets or anything like that. Like. Like it's just it was just a different time, and like those are all like some again, Brink Stevens, and talking to Brink and Linnea Quigley, those are all like strong, powerful women that
Right.
just happen to be part of that culture at that time. Like
Maybe not as credible as Uma Thurman, but they're certainly.
well. Uma Thurman doesn't stop and talk to me,
Sure.
or return my calls, or stop having that fucking big bodyguard hit me when I go near her. Stuff. And I really didn't appreciate all those restraining orders either, Uma. Hang out with fucking Quentin, but
I
I'm
should.
a weirdo.
Ray Mercer's going to be there?
Merciless Ray Mercer. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Maybe he's reckless now. I'm not sure.
He might be.
I haven't talked to him as of late. I'm going to. This is going to entice people to come to the show this weekend. I'm going to do. This is great for podcasts. I'm going to do a visual here,
Okay.
but
Some people will see.
People have to. Well, I guess well, no. I'm not even going to show the people on camera. You'll have to come to Rock and Shock to see this. But my girlfriend did a painting of Joe Netter that she's going to surprise him with at the show, and I'm just gonna show it to you guys. Don't show it on camera, but if you want to see this thing, you have to come to Rock and Shock to see it. You can see he's going to love this, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. If any of you know horror author Joe Netter, you know that he is.
Wow.
He comes up with some quite disturbing stories.
He is going to appreciate
He's
that.
truly
You need to come down and see
going
this.
to appreciate this.
He will love that.
How big is the finished product?
It's you know what's funny is my first question to her was, where did you get the models for the item in this painting of Joe Netter? It's pretty big. It's probably.
Were you the model, Kevin?
I'm sorry. Guilty.
I was not.
I'm sorry. Guilty. Over here.
Yeah, I was like, well, wait. I just kind of drew them from memory. I was like, wait a minute.
What memory?
Well,
Are
look,
these all different? Wait, get out of my house.
Look,
No.
this is a guy who has a tattoo of himself on his ass.
This is true, which he
Okay.
got at Rocket Shock.
Yeah. Yep.
Like on his buttocks or him
On his
falling
ass.
down?
Right.
It's on his butt.
On his ass.
Yeah,
A,
yeah.
A tattoo of his face on his ass.
You
I've
guys,
seen
I
it.
think you guys are probably in the booth
magical.
next to each other.
I'm
so you'll
putting
be
this
seeing that
out
painting all
here.
weekend.
No, great.
How much would the listeners pay? Right? It would have to be enough for me to be able to have some to donate to Darkness for Light and get the actual thing done. To have me tattoo Monster Zero's face on my ass.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
Oh, name it. Name it. Name it. I will pay that.
Will that get us a new computer?
That's what I'm hoping.
we could. I don't know if you want to go into that because we could make that happen.
Yeah, 'cause there are tattooists that show up for
It
this,
ne-
right?
right.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
can have this happen that day.
And actually,
We could.
MZ's owes me a tattoo of me on his body.
Shit, shut up.
It needs to be a three-way dance because, like I said, we got to cover the tattoo. I got to get a little money to donate to Doctors for Light, and we got to get some money to put towards. I mean, it could be like people might be able to relive Kevin showing up all night long if the computer freezes again like that, and it's just a stagnant image again. So but like, hey, I'll take one for the team. I mean, I cuddled fucking Monster Zero and watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, and we didn't
It's
get
true.
nearly
Did
hard.
you guys really do that?
Yeah.
There's pictures. We didn't get any. We didn't get any money either. It was like because I lost a bet.
I know. I figured you did.
I think Monster Zero fucking lost a bet, and for some reason I had to cuddle him. That was a fucking bad. I need a better manager, Kevin.
The sad thing is that people might not necessarily just donate if you asked them to donate to a charity, but they would donate to the charity if it meant you would be having your ass tattooed
Right.
with someone else's face.
Right. Oh well, we
You
made
know,
a,
whatever gets it done, right?
We made a pretty good amount of money to make a video of Monster Zero doing the tuck dance. So
It's true.
Has Kevin
Wait,
seen
a
that?
new video? I saw the original video.
I'm gonna
That's
pay
it, yeah.
for that not
Oh,
to
you
happen.
saw it?
I saw the original video. There's another video?
No.
No.
that's-
There's
it's
only
just the
one. I've seen the one.
So what did
That's
what
all
did
that
you
needs
think
to
of that
exist.
anyway?
What did you think?
I like to get his opinion.
I
Everyone
thought
else
it was-
is giving their
hey, is that
opinion.
on
I
your
like to hear his.
IMDb?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
It was very well edited.
Ironically, it takes balls to pull off
Yes.
videotaping yourself because that's out there forever.
Well, it was never released.
But I would.
It just has seared your eyeballs.
I would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because I'm got all fucking weird scars and stuff like that. So for him, like his fucking weird adult baby body.
Oh, he's so smooth.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
You
it's
do?
weird. We do.
That's
it comes,
weird.
It comes up a lot on the show, to be fair.
Yeah, it does.
It may not seem like it. So, Kevin, if I can ask,
Yes.
like, so we're 16 years deep, right? It's very like, what is like your, it doesn't have to be a person because you don't want to leave anybody out, but it can be whatever you want. What is your like best Rock and Shock memory of all these years?
Ooh. I think just seeing it happen to begin with the very first year we did it, and just going to the people that I wanted. I said, "Look, I've never done this before, but we're trying to do something different. I want to know." Going to celebrities, and I was only at the time I was only friends with Jeffrey Combs, and I went to him. I said, "What do you like about these shows when you go and do them?" And it's like, "Oh, I like this. I like this." Well, what do you don't like? What is it that you wish was different? and I just tried to come up with all the things that he didn't like and reverse it so that they would talk about it when they went to other shows. Oh,
Right.
Rock and Shock, they gave us a gift bag when we showed up. They gave us free massages at the show. It's great. We're all in a big room. We're not shoved into a hotel and all these. And being able to get all those people there the first year. And the first year, we had a lot of issues. We had the Yankees-Red Sox playoffs. We had the presidential debate. We had a rainstorm. I think the power went out for a few hours the weekend we did it. And a lot of the people who were guests that first year just did it for free when it was over. And they were like, you know what? We had such a good time. You guys were so good with us. Just have us back sometime.
Oh, wow.
And that was great. And, I never thought that first year we did. This is what I hoped, but I never thought we'd be able to get the people that we did, or ever have Rob Zombie play, or ever have Alice Cooper play, or those kind of things. I always wanted to happen. They always, over the years, they've kind of happened. And I think they would still be happening if there just wasn't so much competition.
Right.
And it's not just from other conventions. It's, it used to be, it's kind of like radio. One of the reasons radio isn't the same anymore is when I started in radio, you could come in on a Monday morning and say, hey, you know what? Tomorrow, let's go to IHOP, and we'll do our show live, and we'll have people come and have a pancake eating contest, and we'll give away tickets to a show.
Yep.
You can't do that anymore because now you have to say, well, we can't have people eat pancakes because what if they choke? We can't do it at IHOP because IHOP's not an advertiser, so they're going to have to pay us if they want us to come in.
Yeah.
We can't give away tickets to this because that's, that's. So it's like there's so many rules. Same thing with concerts. Like there was a time where we could just get anybody we want. Just hey, why don't you guys play this weekend? But now, the ticket companies and the concert companies, they all have like what's called a perimeter. So if let's say Marilyn Manson is playing in Wallingford, Connecticut, he can't play anywhere within the perimeter for 6 months. So that eliminates us from being able to say, hey, can you come here and play Rock and Shock on Saturday? So it's a lot of politics involved in corporate.
Right.
Yeah, man, corporate BS, man. It's demand. So, it's a lot of times it's just about money and not about what it was. I mean, obviously we don't make any money. I don't make any money off of it, but that's never why I did it to begin with. I did it because I enjoy that kind of thing, and I wanted people to come and enjoy it and have a good time and have that kind of thing here, like Chiller Theater or Monster Mania and those kind of things. So.
Yeah, because, like you said, when you started 16 years ago, there was, Fangoria had their Weekend of Horrors, and there was maybe a handful of other ones, but
Chiller Theater was really the only other big one.
That was in Cherry Hill?
That
was in
it was,
Meadowlands.
but Rock and Shock, if I recall correctly, was the only thing like it around here.
Right, and now there's there's not really anything exactly like it.
There's nothing
other people
exactly
trying to do it
Yeah,
around here, and it's so it's tough. And a lot of people have very big companies that are able to back money to pay for bigger guests. Not Fangoria around here necessarily, but there's other companies that I don't know where they get their money, but they have money to just
for instance,
burn.
the Rhode Island Comic Con, they got A-list celebrities.
Oh yeah.
Which I can't even imagine how much. I guess it depends. I guess if you look how much they're charging for autographs, you can sort of understand how they're able to get them. But
yeah, and it's also one of the things that I tried not to do from the beginning, and this is an advantage and a disadvantage, is that I tried not to stray out of the horror genre.
Yeah.
Right. With a Comic-Con, you're covering so many bases and so many levels of popularity with anime and cosplay and comics and artists and voiceover people and toys, where you can get anybody you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can get the horror stars on that too.
Exactly.
And it makes sense.
Because in The Walking Dead certainly brought that
It was a
into where
crossover thing.
everybody can. I'm on The Walking Dead and I'm doing this show and my friend's on, one of those other shows. I can't even think of it. My friend's on Arrow. I should tell him to come to this show because we could both make a ton of money, and that's exactly what happens.
And there's also a weird business thing too, where you can get who you want, but at the same time, does anybody else care? If Rock and Shock was you and me in a bubble, we would have got Angela Bettis and Ashley Lawrence every year. It was you guys figure out the rest, and we would have just set up our table near them and Because like those, we had like that was a fucking great year hanging out with those guys
yeah.
and like bullshitting with them and like having a good time. Well, I just stared at them longingly, but
Well, and over the years, they've realized how much money they can make
right
off of these kind of things, and realized that their value to the fans. Whereas before, they were like, "Oh, I didn't even know these things."
grateful.
A lot of people didn't even know these existed, and a lot of
Yeah.
the actors and stuff. And now there's nobody out there you can't get for a convention. It's just how much are you willing to risk if that person doesn't make what they're supposed to make, that you're going to have to pay them.
plus convention bookings don't have, in a lot of cases, unless somebody gets smart, writes it into their contract, that perimeter thing. So once Tom Atkins is coming to New England, he's going to try to monetize that whole trip
Oh, yeah.
and like do 4 or 5 conventions in that area, and it splits the.
There are some companies that do that now. We don't do that, but there are some that now we're like, you can do our show, you're going to definitely make your money, but if you do our show, you can't do this one or anything in the area for this many months. So,
Which, I mean, it's just smart business,
Yeah.
We can't play. We did it once and it worked, but we couldn't play at Ralph's on Friday and play at the Lucky Dog on Saturday. You'd be, at best splitting the audience, and it doesn't help either one of those.
Our
venues.
7 fans couldn't be
Nope.
in 2 places the same way. They can only afford one show.
Yeah, you think we
that
have?
weekend.
You also can't.
You think
split
we
them
have
in.
7 fans?
Our 7.5.
Yeah, there's a big illusion with the Deadites because there's 22 of us, and everybody has like a girlfriend, and some people have of age kids. So, like,
So if they were all wiped out, if
Yeah.
it wasn't nepotism, it would
right,
be.
yeah, we don't have any fans.
We're like the Harlem Globetrotters. We're like 15 members
Right.
and like the same. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Totally off topic, but the other day, we're sleeping in, and my special lady friend sits up like a zombie and goes, "Remember when the Harlem Globetrotters used to always be at Denny's?" I was like, no.
Harlem?
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking? She must have been like having a dream, like, and like woke up in the middle of it. But like, I don't know if it was some weird Harlem Globetrotters dream, but like it's just so weird. I'm just lying there trying to be like quiet, and all of a sudden, do you remember when the Harlem Globetrotters used to always be at Denny's? I was like, no.
Oh yeah, good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
Good times.
Here's some lorazepam.
They-
Go to
they they kept handing the plate back to the waitress and then taking it back real quick.
Oh yeah, I remember that routine.
But yeah, I am grateful to have been able to be part of it from pre-Genesis to all the way through, and all the great memories and all the great times. Like, it's an incredible show, and I'm gonna be happy to be part of it forever. Like it's a good time, and there's really like. Not every show is, not every show that anyone ever does goes the way they want it to.
Right.
But there's never been anything like Rock and Shock. Like.
And even even a low attendance year has been a fun year for all of us.
Right,
So.
yeah.
I mean, you guys are not going to be there, so everybody can come by and see you guys and put the face to the.
It's been a while since we were on the main stage and caused a riot, but
It's true, yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
at those are that's a great story for another time too. But it's just like such like if I made a list of 25 awesome things I got to do, I guarantee that there would in between 23 and 25 of them would have happened in that square block on that weekend. Just like maybe not maybe a couple of them would be took up that I was in a battle royal with Greg the Hammer Valentine, or I got to share a locker room with Roddy Piper or whatever else. But like for the most part, like it's a fucking awesome thing that I'm very lucky enough to have been part of forever. So, thank you.
There you go, and you're welcome.
So yeah, super looking forward to Rock and Shock this year. It's going to be a great time, and anyone coming should definitely say hello
Pull
to
out.
Kevin as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Jeez.
Stop by and say hi to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a great time, and obviously if you're listening to this live, you still have time. If you're listening to the podcast, then it's.
I don't know if you live out.
Depends on when you listen.
Yeah, I don't know. You wake up, you live out where where Corey lives. Like you fucking drive the 5 hours. It's worth it.
Yeah.
If I'm not telling necessarily Corey that he has to, but he should.
But he should,
But
yeah.
like at the end of the day, like if you like, it's just a good time. It's it's fun. It's a unique horror convention experience. If you like this, if you're listening to this show, you like this, and you can hang out with us all weekend. So you'll get to see how fucking terrible my life is. So like, oh, well, this is much better in 3-hour increments. But like, yeah, it's it's a good time. Is this the first weekend Aries is going to be there the whole all 3 days? Or were you there all 3 days?
Well, I don't
last
even
time?
know if he's going to be there all 3 days, but
Nah, I can tell. You can tell. Look at his eyes.
I can tell
The look in my eyes.
You got
he's-
that. I can't wait to be there for 3 days. Look.
Oh, he's insatiable right now.
I can't wait to stand there and not
Look,
talk
you-
to anybody.
You know what I was thinking is that this is probably the first time we're going to be on stage together, and I'm going to be the one pissing people off, and you're going to have to be the one protecting me.
Could be.
Oh.
Aries is going to want to fight with everyone.
No, just because.
Look at all these millennials.
I know.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can swing by, Kevin, and see the live Trick or Treat Radio in the
Oh,
convention.
I always do.
Yeah.
I think you guys are right next to the person I live with, so I think it's probably
Yeah, so
going to be fairly easy.
But we're gonna be in the convention room doing in the
panel room.
doing our live show, and it's
Nice.
gonna be a fucking it's gonna be interesting. That's for sure. Are you gonna wear a shirt with sleeves, Monster Zero?
I sure am.
Like I hope
Oh,
so.
man, I can't wait.
Thank God.
Like in pants, long pants. Huh? I don't care how hot. It is.
Well, I don't know. It all depends on how it is.
Big
outside.
boy pants and shoes.
Yeah.
Aries gave me my. It's gonna be a paraphrase, but after Rock and Shock last year, I think it was, he was like, "I don't like it when people come talk to me." it's like
I don't like people.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
can't change that.
I get it. It's just
You know what? You just give me a little head nod, and we're good.
Hi, Aries. I'm a big fan. Fuck off.
And
No,
Tiny
no.
is
That's too
allegedly
much.
coming
Just a little head
on
nod.
on Sunday, and it's been a couple years since he's been able to come down.
Oh, wow, good.
The
Good. Yeah.
since he's become a professional maze builder.
Yes, professional Halloween attraction.
That's another thing I'm really stoked about Rock and Shock about is that when everyone's life changed and it was harder to do the show closer to Halloween, like it was cool to be able to be in proximity to Rock and Shock because, like, on the 28th, that fucking maze is hopping.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Matrix, is turning down, haunted speakeasy money that night. So, it's cool. It's a great time. I will tell you, if you get the opportunity to stop and talk to Kevin, maybe ask him the story of why he didn't make it to the stage the night we played at the Palladium with Qua. Because and the best part about that story is that I didn't know till we were 2 songs deep because we were all in a very similar condition, except for Oracle, who goes, "Where's Kevin?" And
People actually watch video from that show and think that I'm on stage. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I didn't make it.
They're like, she goes, "Where's Kevin?" I go, "Over there by his stuff." She didn't even she didn't even talk. She just like leaned forward and went. And I looked over, and sure enough, the keyboard's just there.
Yeah, that's just a pile of his stuff.
And we had this like dramatic like walk up through the like load-in sector of the Centrum. It looked like a U2 video where we're all walking over to the Palladium, and at some point, we lost a brave soldier. But
Well, Rocket Shock's going to be a fucking blast, so hopefully a lot of you guys
Yeah,
can,
it'll be
can
fine.
make it out there. Do we even mention Ted Raimi? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
think you did,
mentioned
yeah.
that he was in Wishmaster, but Ted Raimi, yeah, Sam Raimi's brother.
Yep.
He'd been in Ash vs. Evil Dead and Wishmaster, and what else? He wasn't he on
Intruder?
Xena? Is it
Lunatic-
Xena he was
he
working
was.
on?
He was,
Jockster.
yeah.
He was
Lunatics, a love story.
On all those shows.
Lunatics, a
Yeah.
love story. Thou
Spider-Man.
Shalt Not Kill Except.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
1 through 3.
Darkman.
Darkman, yeah, he was awesome in Darkman.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite deaths in any movie.
Midnight Meat Train.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he was good. He was.
Yep.
That was a kind of a different part for him in Midnight Meat Train too. We need to keep him. I always feel for the last like 25 years that we're one wrong bumping into people away from a cease and desist. So we need to keep Ted Raimi on that side of the auditorium and us on the other side. 'cause
Well,
we've
it's
managed to
been
avoid all those guys.
25
honestly.
years, so
You think Ted Raimi's going to be the cease and desist order?
I have no idea. Like I
After all the
he's just
women
going to
that
call
have-
Sam. Hey, Sam, guess what I just saw?
These fucking guys right here.
yeah.
They're in the back.
He's
Oh.
a smooth dude, too, man.
He's a smooth dude.
He really is. He really is. I can't wait to meet him.
Did he get to second base with you? Like how are you? Like He's a smooth. We would just talk about Evil Dead. Next thing I know, Ted has his hands up my shirt.
He's just a cool guy, you know. He knows shit, you know.
He knows shit about shit.
About
He's been down some
movies
roads and some rooms, you know what I mean?
He's been there.
In some weird shit, weird clubs.
I'll tell you, it's pretty amazing of all that crew. Like, you know, and I hope he is not listening and never listening. If you had told me in 1988, and you know, with Bruce Campbell and even like Rob Tabbitt and Sam being a pretty looking guy, normal looking guy, that Ted Raimi was going to be the most normal looking, best looking guy out of that whole crew, and now like,
yeah.
Well, let's not go crazy now.
They must like. So yeah, Ted Raimi. Also, star of the award-winning Survival of the Film Freaks with Dynamo Mars and Johnny Wolfenstein.
That's right.
He looks very sweaty in that film.
We're the same movie as Ted Raimi, yeah.
I know. He looks very sweaty. Like, I feel bad.
Sweat Raimi.
What about us? We look terrible.
Well, I mean, Bill's a film director. He's not a fucking wizard. like, what is he going to do? Like,
By the way,
liked it better when you had Depeche Mode here, Miles. There you go.
Do we have IMDb credits? I don't know if we can. Right?
I think we have to figure out how to get on IMDb, and the most fucking stifling thing about that is that Monster Zero and Dr. Chris have worked it out, and we're still not on. 280 million episodes of this and a bunch of movies.
We don't do anything. When I work with Brian Paulin, he takes care of it himself.
I don't think
the directors take care of that.
Wow, what the fuck?
So you should have a credit.
Yeah, we don't. What the goddamn fuck?
Eric Newell's on there, and that's his only credit.
That dude won an Emmy.
He did, sure.
Yeah. Well, we didn't win an Emmy, but I'd like to be on. I'll be in 2 of the films by the end of the year. I got to get an IMDb. Somebody hook a brother up. I'd kill some babies or something.
Yeah, we got to get on there.
In Septic. Yeah, I took the. I kind of ended up being like had a very Kevin Barbary, Brian Paulin role in the newest Brian Paulin film. I get to beat up Monster Zero. I get to wear a funny, like a uncomfortably hot, like
Yeah, and then you blew up.
Yeah. Then I didn't. There was I wasn't in any scene with any naked ladies or anything like that. Like it's just me and Monster Zero.
Ooh.
I did find out that I did so my character in the film wears a mask, and then he went back and like that character as not me did a whole bunch of like repugnant shit that I'm gonna have to explain. that wasn't me in the mask. I just wore the I know I took the mask off and I was under there, but I did not kick that. I did not cut that baby in half. That was not me.
Did not have sex with that.
Yeah. That was me. But so it's cool. And that in Morbid Vision Films will be there.
Yep.
And that's again, did you hear the news that we were talking about earlier that he got a right up in Fangoria.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty. This is a lot of cool shit happens in this small weird part of the world.
Cool shit.
We're on our way to being cool again.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not go crazy.
Happen.
Yeah.
Make Necronomicon cool again.
The only bad part about having Kevin here is that I can usually avert my eyes from Monster Zero, and he keeps having a wardrobe malfunction. You keep having a fucking one of those sidewinders keeps escaping on the side. Your nipples are all hard. And
bite me. Nothing's escaping from me.
Look at that.
You got baloney gumdrops over there, buddy.
Hot tub fucking, was it? B-girl hot tub?
MZ hot tub party.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
Trick or Treat Radio hot tub party.
No, that would be awful.
That's the name of the live show.
Oh, my God.
We should pass out flyers.
What's it, 8x10?
They'd be like, what's that stuck in the filter? Oh, that's just Raven
the slime bowl tuckorama.
Oh.
All right, do you guys want to talk about this movie?
No. This is Wolves. I have to go pee, and then we can talk about it.
Yes. I have to head out, too. I have 3 more podcasts to do. Not true.
Sounds like me.
Well, Kevin, we appreciate you coming in. It's always awesome to get some time to hang out with you, and obviously we got a chance to find out more about what's going on at Rock and Shock.
Yes.
And we hope to see a lot of you guys that are listening there with us, and obviously come up and say hello, say hello to Kevin. Kevin's always around, wandering around. You'll hear him on. You're going to be talking on the loudspeaker on the PA.
Yeah, I should be doing a little bit of that.
A little of that. You'll hear
Yeah.
Kevin's voice all weekend long. So make sure you come and say hello to us. And Kevin, it was awesome having you in, as always, my friend.
Yes, always.
And we'll see you a lot this weekend. Oh, we're getting a little selfie going over here. Mars is taking a selfie. All
It's
right.
the one thing when Andy Christ comes in, I don't forget. Like, I always get the Andy Christ.
Well, he makes you look more handsome. That's why.
Well, he is a wizard.
Well, actually, let's take we'll take a real quick break just so we can all give Kevin some sloppy kisses
Full
and
mouth
hugs.
kisses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
a couple of handies. Mine's Rock and Shock.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get one queued up here. All right,
See
so
you this weekend.
MZ, how long until we're back?
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
All right, we're back at Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello, everybody.
And Aries was just telling us we should do a Trick or Treat Radio calendar with photos of us at like
different stages of undress.
No, not that. As
different movie posters. I don't know.
putting us in you know, like what would you call that? Like a remix of a movie poster with us in it.
Yeah.
Like Breakfast Club was tossed around. What are some other good horror posters that we could do? Well, I guess Breakfast Club.
Scream with the floating heads. Maybe anything with floating heads.
Be Raven Shadow's head. Oh, Neon Maniacs, maybe? All right, we got to talk about this movie because I want to finish in 40 minutes, and we got some voicemail too.
Yes.
So apologize if anyone was really excited to hear our discussion. We did not know for sure if Kevin was going to be here. We had a feeling he might, but as always, Kevin just kind of, he has an invite, can drop in whenever he wants.
So blame him.
No. I'm just saying we just didn't know when he was coming or if. So
of course, don't blame Kevin.
Well, I mean, he's
Kevin's
a true
awesome.
professional. We can't deny him.
He is.
Mike time.
Exactly.
He's been doing radio for longer than some. I don't know. I don't want to make him sound too old, so he's doing it a very
before I was born.
Very long time. And
he started on a ham radio.
and he's an awesome dude. So
he is.
Always love having Kevin on. So all right, well, let's talk about Hold the Dark. We had sort of did the setup, talked about, we did the synopsis, talked about who was in it, all that stuff. And I think we left off at Riley Keough being the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley.
Yeah, we were still talking about the actors and their relation in the film and stuff.
So this is a pretty bleak flick. I'll say. There's not a real lot of positive stuff going on.
I don't think a smile was had in this movie.
No. Which, it's certainly not a bad thing, but it's a very intense movie, as you'd come to expect from Jeremy Saulnier. And this is so no different. There was a couple scenes where I was literally almost shaking because they were so intense, Like the shootout scene, probably.
Yes.
That was pretty intense.
Fantastic shootout scene.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That caught me a little off guard.
Yeah,
It went
see?
from 0 to 100 in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
In the, do you guys see that?
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
Yeah, if you're a fan, this is a slow burn flick, but there's a certain point in this film in which, if you're a cinematic gunfight fan, you're gonna have your appetite whetted when you watch this.
Not John Woo style, but
no, far from that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hail of bullets going on.
Yes, hail of bullets for sure. That's a good way of putting it. So there's a pretty intense scene with the shootout. There's the sort of signature violence that Jeremy Saulnier puts in, where it's just all of a sudden it's like sudden violence. It's almost in a way sort of like Refn, with his violence in his movies, where it's just very sudden and surprising. So there's definitely a lot of that going on. That shootout scene was fucking great and surprising and brutal. There was a lot of moments like that where it's just like, whoa. And I think in lieu of a lot of action, it sort of, it doesn't allow it to get too stagnant, where it's sort of this mystery playing out, because all of a sudden you have these pearl clutching moments where oh my God, because something crazy happens where there's some pretty ridiculous violence.
Yeah. So what this? Let me bring it up here. So shit. Hold on. Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay. So all right. So this mother of 3 children who are apparently killed off by
only one of her children.
Only one.
Oh,
There's
one
3
of the
children
children,
in the village or
that's
whatever.
right. That's right. The 6-year-old boy was apparently mauled to death by a wolf. So she hires a writer who has who specializes in this sort of thing.
Yeah, he wrote a book about
to hunt down the wolf that killed her son.
Yep.
And just on that alone, it sounds intriguing, but it also sounds extraordinarily far-fetched,
Well, and that's also really, like, without giving too much away, like maybe an eighth of the movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very small portion of this film. And this is played by Jeffrey Wright. The writer is Jeffrey Wright, and his name is Russell Core. And so he obliges. He says, "Yes, I'll help you out." And then it's at that point things start getting a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Realistic, but weird. Where she doesn't have the money to pay for his services.
And to be fair, I don't think he wanted money anyways, right?
No.
Because he had sort of ulterior motive where his daughter was a professor at Anchorage, Alaska, and so that was sort of like he was like, okay, well, I'll go, and then as a side, I can see my daughter, you know?
Yeah. However, she sees paying him off in a different way that actually kind of caught me off guard, and it was handled well. It was handled about as well as you can make it.
Well, that wasn't even. I don't even think that was the point of that. You're talking about when she was in the tub, and then
she
what
got
happened?
out of the tub.
Yeah, and got out of the tub. Yeah, like I think that was more of a, I guess, foreshadowing in a way. We'll get these guys in on this. Yeah. So we've already sort of, just so you guys are aware, we've already sort of talked a little bit about what was going on. We talked about the shootout and how that fucking was brutal and amazing.
That face shot, fuck.
Yeah. And so now we were just talking about, MZ gave us the basic rundown of what's going on and why, what's his name? Core was his last name. Yep. Russell Core was investigating this, the disappearing child. And so we have Medora, and with the part we were just discussing is when she gets out of the tub and she's wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And then she gets into bed with Russell. Now, MZ was saying that he thought that was sort of her payment, her way of paying him. But I think that if you see, it was almost like, once again, try not to give too much away, but it was almost like an admission.
Oh, that's how I felt.
Yeah, how it escalated at the end.
Yes.
It wasn't sexual.
No.
But that's how I felt. I felt there was some sort of an admission going on there too, with the way she handled that whole scene with Core, because she felt I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, just shut up.
You know, don't tell me to shut up. I know.
For what you're trying to say, you're better off not saying anything.
I'm trying not to, but I'm trying to work my way around it. So,
you
I don't
mean
go too
Aries.
What? What? You're better off just not saying anything.
What were you gonna say, MZ?
No, I don't want to say it.
No,
it was done in a way where violence is somehow in her nature.
Yeah.
Whereas
I see where you're going. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think that's about as good as I can make it right now.
So, and her husband, Vernon, was away. Was it Fallujah? Was that the war? I think he was. It was somewhere in the Middle East. I think it was Fallujah.
Yeah.
And he has a scene where we first meet him, where he's basically gunning people down, locals, I guess, in this little
insurgents
conflict. Yeah, and kind of cold-blooded, but that's war, whatever. You don't think anything is off, and then later on he's walking through the town that they're in, and he sees an American soldier raping a local.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure about that. When I first saw him, I thought it was a couple that were.
Oh no, he was he kept telling her shut up. He's like, don't say anything, shut up.
You know what? Maybe Creepy Girl is right about the sound thing, because
no,
I didn't.
I heard it fine.
Really, I don't know why I didn't. It wasn't until like he put the butt down. Like, what's he gonna fucking do? Like he's going in the room.
You love that.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
We put his butt down. Like this is like I'll be right fucking back.
Hold
right?
hold my cigarette.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That cigarette would never leave your mouth.
Well, yeah, you put it. You can light a new one. But yeah, for a minute I wasn't sure that what was happening, and then obviously.
Yeah. So there was an American soldier that was raping a local, and so he came up behind him, pulled his knife out, and just fucking stabbed the fuck out of him.
And that's a thing too, because the stab shots in this movie are so well done.
But it was the first.
He does gore amazing.
Step. Yeah, I had an internal debate, and and if we can do this without getting too, we don't have to answer it, but just so you know what I was thinking, who does?
We probably said it when you're gone.
Refn, Zala, and him. Like
Yep.
there's this new renaissance
Sudden
of like
violence of
like just abrupt, brilliant, memorable violence. That's you know, like just so. I couldn't decide who did better. You know, who's you know, like
and it's not gratuitous at all. It's not like and the body movements are not gratuitous either. The Foley sounds on this are very realistic. You know, it's all these pieces of the puzzle that they put together that just make it look and sound so real.
So if I can go back just a tiny bit, Wolfie, one thing that I thought was really important to this film and was also like a little bit neat bit of social commentary when the guy was taking the selfie over the bodies in the flaming wreck.
Yeah.
Like because it showed it kind of showed that a desensitization of violence isn't unique to this, like even though they feel like it is, it isn't unique to this little world that's cut off from everything else. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
sure.
In that scene we were talking about, the rape scene is super interesting because it made that character one of the most interesting.
Yeah, he seemed like he's a good guy, right? Like
right, but I mean, is he? But he might. But I mean, in a way, like
he's a cold-blooded killer with like a with
Yeah.
a moral code. It seemed.
But my takeaway for him as a character is that like, is he even not like it's almost like he decided he had like a job to do, you know, like and everyone that got in his way was dealt with, but you know when a character doesn't die at one point after he dispatches him, he sort of to a degree takes, you know what I mean, like he doesn't, you know, he leaves him there to die, but he doesn't leave him stuck, you know, like so like he doesn't.
It's the mission.
Yeah,
the mission he has to fulfill the mission.
He's what he does is kill, and at one point like.
Because he does say that to his son, right?
Yeah.
He's like, sometimes you have to kill people,
Right.
like if they're in your way or something.
Even though there's a weird turn that makes this, you know, one of this director's movies, like it's a very, like I don't think he ever comes off as unlikable. There are people that he kills in this movie that a lot of people who get killed in this movie, or at least a couple, put themselves in his path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody, you know, if not that it's the right thing to do, but if they didn't follow, they wouldn't have got killed.
And there's also, and this is tough to tiptoe around because it is potential, not really spoiler, but it sort of gets into some territory where.
It could be a domino effect. You mentioned one thing.
Yeah.
You could spoil the whole thing.
So, but his mentality, definitely there's a parallel to his mentality that we see sort of like there's a theme of it throughout the movie, you know? I don't know if that resonates with you guys or if that means anything, but there's certainly like this sort of like mentality of this family and how it parallels other things that happen in the movie. So I thought that was kind of interesting, the way that they showed it. I still, it's one of those things where I still don't know if there's like because I feel like Saulnier's movies always have this sort of, you know, social commentary, and I didn't get a strong indication that it was definitively one thing. I got a lot of different things that it could be, but not definitively like this is what's going on, you know, which I thought was interesting, and it was a little bit more sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Abstract, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. But there's yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really great scenes in this and great performances. I thought that that Jeffrey Wright was great in this. Riley Keough, even though she had a you know, like not a starring role, she was also very good. And I also thought that Alexander Skarsgård was great in this.
Skarsgård was quite good. Jeffrey Wright was
I
outstanding.
mean, Macon Blair was great for what he did.
Oh yeah, and he's always great, even if he has these bit parts in the films, you know.
Who was the sheriff?
Let me see. I have to go to the second page on IMDb because for whatever reason he's not listed on the first.
The sheriff?
James Badge Dale.
He was great.
He was awesome. Yeah,
he was super awesome. I like him. I like the native.
Yep.
Who was awesome.
Chion is the character's name. Who played?
Okay,
Yeah.
Hey guy. Like, yes, he was fucking so awesome.
But yeah, James Badge Dale was in like World War Z, The Departed, Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah, he was Skull Up His Face Again. Yeah, he was the guy that. Yeah, he was work with Matt Damon. He was Matt Damon's. Departed.
The Departed.
Yeah.
Departed. Yeah, so he's been in a pretty good amount of stuff. He was in the Lone Ranger, MZ, one of your favorite movies.
Yes.
He was in The Gray.
Oh, he knows fucking wolves.
He was in the TV series Rubicon, which I heard decent things about. So I mean, I thought he was great though. I loved. He might have been one of my favorite characters,
Agreed.
and when he first showed up on screen, I was like, oh well, this is the typical cop.
Right.
You know, and I just got like this weird vibe from him, and then all of a sudden he became this three-dimensional character that I really gravitated towards.
Yeah, it's like always gonna be the fucking Alaskan Officer fucking Dewey. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
and the interesting thing is this ended up being a bit of an ensemble cast, and you get little glimpses of everyone's life in sort of a non-traditional way. You know, like even the woman who owned that hotel.
She was great.
She was a hot shit. You know, you get a little snapshot of her, but in that snapshot, you really get to know a decent amount about her, and you sort of care for her. You know, so I think that a lot of care was given to the characters, and they had a chance to really shine in this, and especially Jeffrey Wright, and then also the once again lost his fucking name because he's on the second page of IMDb. James Badge Dale, who played Donald, the head cop. I don't know if he's the sheriff or whatever, but yeah, he was great in it. So real strong cast, great acting in this. Like Skarsgård was great, especially he had to have like a pretty good amount of range in this, to show sort of sadness and vengeance, and so he definitely had a lot of different roles he had to play in this. Overall, did you guys enjoy this flick? Because this is one where I could see it losing some people.
Yeah, I really was not sure where the hell this movie was going in the first half. It wasn't until the gun battle scene that I felt that it started. Well, not only it started to pick up, but I was starting to put the pieces together of the film. It was after that. And it starts out. It's a slow burn flick. Don't make any mistake about that.
I wouldn't even necessarily call it a slow burn.
Well,
to be honest,
it's got a 2+ hour running time.
It's a mystery, like that sort of. I think that they're mutually exclusive.
I mean, it's not fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark, but there's a fucking giant.
There's a lot of like set pieces.
19-minute gun battle, and there's a wolf hunt.
Yeah.
No, I mean until that point, it is a slow.
There's a fucking.
I felt it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt it was like I think that you're missing the emotional resonance of that
slow
stuff.
burn is not a bad term.
No, but I don't think it was.
No, and he's not saying it.
I'm
like
not
it is.
saying it is. It's not.
A slow burn is like House of the Devil, where like barely anything happens in the first 70 minutes. A lot happened in the first bit of this. So I just think, and I'm not busting on you, MC. I just think that I think the nomenclature is different. I would just call it a mystery, or where sort of it unfolds throughout the film, whereas a slow burn is like a build to, like, for instance, like Bone Tomahawk is a slow build, you know.
Well, maybe I'm just comparing the second half to the first half, you know. And
Sure. And there was more that happened.
Where after that big gun battle scene, that's when things started getting
Oh,
ratcheting
yeah,
up.
business picked up, for sure.
I mean, I will say, though, that there was a different kind of busyness in that first half. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, you didn't have... There was a lot of shorthand. Like, he showed up on the case. There wasn't, like, a scene where him getting the letter and being in his real life. Like, I feel like... I almost feel like... I wonder if what you're trying to say is that he leaned a little too much into kind of his very decompressed style. You know, because that was one of the things that made Blue Ruin so great. You know, like, you know, and maybe this didn't have to be over 2 hours long. You know, because I will say, and I'm not going to criticize it for it, because if I watch this in 2 weeks, I might have really, you know, obviously I got a lot that I could be doing instead of watching a 2-hour movie, so it made me a little stressed. But, like, I did feel a little fat here, which I didn't feel in Blue Ruin or Murder Party or even Green Room, you know?
Sure, and this film has a greater distance to travel, I guess,
agree.
to get to the end point. So I understand the runtime, but I'm also with you. I mean, I'm always for a more of a lean narrative if you can cut a little bit out. I'm not saying that there's specific parts that could be cut out, but for me the runtime didn't really bother me. But
maybe he's
I
just
can see what you
stretching
mean.
his legs for a more complicated
And that's
story.
important, too. Yeah, you could be right. And that's important, too, where, and I don't know what, you know, Aries and Raven Shadow thought, like, I will say...
Well, he is Mr. Runtime, so...
If you pressed me, I don't know what I would take out. You know what I mean? Like...
Well,
Sure.
Here's my big problem with this movie.
Okay.
At 2 hours plus, you're already dealing with a long movie.
Sure.
And I feel they cut a lot of plot out of this movie to keep in a lot of action. I feel there was a lot missing from this movie. There's plot holes in character motivations were not fully explained.
I don't think there are any plot holes, though.
I'm not
Motivations,
not-
maybe.
Not gaping, small.
Motivations,
but definitely
for sure.
character motivations are lacking.
But I think
for
that
a lot of things in this movie.
I think that actually is explained, but it's kind of abstract, in an abstract way, you know. And I can't say because it might be a bit of a spoiler, so we can talk off the air. But I do think that is more or less explained in a more abstract way when you understand sort of the hierarchy of, I don't know if that's the way to put it, of what's going on. But yeah, this to me was I don't know if I liked it as much as Blue Ruin or Green Room, but I was on board all along. Like, I thought this, like, I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, you know? Like, this was pretty intense, and I really loved the characters. And you know, on paper, if you had told me what this movie was about, like, or you know, I may not have been as excited about it, but all you got to do is say Jeremy Saulnier, and I'm on board, you know. So this was definitely him doing, like you said, I think, Mars, I think it was him stretching his legs a little bit more and doing something maybe a little bit more epic, because this was, you know, it was shot in Canada, but it was supposed to look like Alaska, which it did. And there was also some shots in a desert, which was supposed to be in the Middle East, you know, or I think that's where it was supposed to take place. But
Oh yeah, it wasn't Colorado. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
Like, but I thought that was cool. Was I mean, right from the get go, it's like, okay, this is like a dingo took my fucking baby movie, like Vengeance.
Jesus, that's a thing.
You know, yeah. What was that movie? Isn't that a movie they made? Not Gorillas in the Midst, but whatever the fuck. It's a true story.
I can, without seeing either the film you're talking about or Gorillas in the Mist, I can guarantee that no dingo abductions happen in Gorillas in the Mist.
But that really happened, though. That was a true story. Where's our Australian friends?
Dingoes took my baby.
I mean, it did happen, unless this is an urban legend. I seem to remember thinking of remembering that this a coyote either attacked or killed a baby in the Cape a few years back.
Yeah, and that was a movie too. Coyote Ugly was about that.
Shut up.
No,
I think you'd like Coyote Ugly actually more than that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
But no, I think from what I thought it might be, like, what the fuck is he gonna be hunting wolves all movie? To then jump into Afghanistan or wherever it was. Then like now I'm interested.
First time Mike says Dingo Ate My Baby was an actual story, and Tim Chuma says Evil Angels. I don't know if that's the movie.
Yeah.
I was
dingoes.
Kind of waiting. Like I kind of marked out. I've been working on something that I ended up not happening. Like the most work I put in out of a bunch of pitches is the one they didn't want. But I marked out when I saw them putting the duct tape over the barrels on the gun, because that was something I read about when I was doing some hunter research, that I finally went down a rabbit hole to like a hunting or a gun like Mythbusters thing, where they were talking about the like all the good and bad or relevance of all of doing that. But like it was the type of thing where like once I got it in my head, even though I saw a bunch of people call bullshit on it and some other people swear by it, like I put it in my notes because I thought it was just such a neat.
So what was the point? I noticed that when he fell, he had that.
It's supposedly to keep debris and stuff out of it. In the bad part where people fuck it up is they will do it while the barrel is hot and it will melt the tape and fuck things up. But this Mythbusters thing I watched showed that it didn't. I guess if you're in a situation where you're going to get water in your or something in your gun, that's probably not going to matter. And if
Your
it's
gun's
debris,
gonna backfire.
If it's debris or not.
At the situation where he's heading out for his excursion, he's going to be out for days.
Right.
He's going to protect his barrel, but as soon as he frees that barrel, he's not going to bother to cover it again.
Right.
And in the situation he was in, he would not bother to unduct tape that gun.
No, there's no reason to.
Because that tape is not going to affect his
Nope,
aim
at
in
all.
a short distance.
They were saying that with the gun they used, it was without it, like the accuracy of this particular person that shot it was within an inch of what within 58, within less than an inch of what they were shooting at. With the tape on, it was like just an inch or like you know what I mean? Like it was.
You're going to be
very
dealing
little.
in the hundreds of yards to affect
Sure.
anything.
Right. Like, I mean, it's a weird argument because you're talking about something that could, at a close enough range, put a pretty good dent in a car door, and people are literally fighting over the validity of duct tape, like stopping it. But what I guess where the urban legend of it happened is, again, people sticking it on when it was hot, and then it melts it, and they did try to do that, and he did say it didn't necessarily mess up his shot, but it did. It's not awesome to have fucking essentially pour glue down the front of your gun. You know what I mean? Like so.
So Tim Chuma was right. The original title of the movie is called Evil Angels, but it's also known as A Cry in the Dark, starring Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, yeah.
And Sam Neill. And the synopsis: a mother whose child was killed in a dingo attack in the Australian outback fights to prove her innocence when she's accused of murder.
See, I was pretty fucking accurate there.
First time Mike says, I got your back, Raven Shadow.
Thank you, Bo.
And first time Mike says, hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
What's up, first time Mike?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? So, yeah, dingoes ate my baby.
Yeah. And what decade was that movie from?
I think it was the 80s.
The 80s? Yeah. Dynamite drop there, Raven Shadow. Well, I'm thinking, I'm Jesus fucking Christ.
You are about 20 years behind. Well, that is exactly 30 years behind. Jesus Christ. How old are we?
No, I'm not
over 21.
Normally, I wouldn't criticize you for such a thing, but you are all over me and him every time we do something that's not timely.
Well, actually, Mars, to be fair.
See? Thank you, Johnny.
To be fair, he didn't mention a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Who?
Or like a new movie that it was reminiscent of. You give him shit for evoking Kill Bill whenever there's a sword fight, right?
No, right.
I don't think I do that. That was Monster Zero.
Oh, or what do you guys?
All right, well, it's kind of like remind me of Inglourious Bastards because they had snow. And it was cold.
And there was a theater that caught on fire.
Yeah. But I think it and I saw the runtime like fucking 2 hours, whatever the fuck. I just had mowed the lawn, did a bunch of shit.
Jesus Christ.
In the house. I just wanted to watch fucking Mayans. But I was into it. And it I don't know. The fucking gunfight, dude.
So I know you fucking talked about it, but goddamn.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to sort of wrap this up because we're obviously we are running a little bit late because of other stuff. But is there anything else you guys want to mention before we hop into verdicts? Anything we should talk about? No. All right. I guess it then is verdict time.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Mars, how did you like The Grey, actually? Just kidding.
You know what's funny is I was listening to a show I wasn't on, and I
Amazing.
Like I heard
you weren't on a show last week.
I left early. I heard.
Oh, you mean our show?
Yeah, you guys mentioned that.
Because I thought you were on every
that I had got
podcast
the Grey.
possible. Yes, yes.
And I wasn't upset about it, but I actually was keeping that on the wraps till I could figure Batman out who did it. So now I feel like the rats know to roost, but. I guess I messed up. Yeah, I know.
I'm still waiting for you to invite me over so we can watch it.
Anytime. My house is yours. But I would like to thank whoever did that. The reason I didn't is I was trying to find you before I thanked you. So now that you know I know, thank you very much. And I think we'll be able to work something out where I watch that pretty soon. So
it was nobody here.
No, I don't know.
Well, I think I know who.
Well, you know, I know you don't use Amazon, so I'm not worried about you.
Yeah, no, I don't even. Yeah.
And MZ wouldn't spend money on you.
Yeah, and MZ doesn't. MZ pays me in love.
I wish I thought of it.
Yeah, I was sure it was him, but his reaction when I told him made me think that it wasn't him. So
I have a feeling it's one of the Haasmen. That's my thought.
They all lied then, and we don't lie to each other.
Did you flat out ask?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
they all
okay.
said no.
All
I mean, right. Honestly, I'm fucking Halloween. Like, I hope it's not. I mean, not my Koopy. Like, I'm fucking Halloween cosplaying his favorite wrestler right now, trying to fucking finally seal that deal. Like, if he had bought me a present, I'd like to know. But Koopy.
I don't think it was Koop.
But yeah, it was a treat. It was great. I do think at the end. I seldom say this, but I would have liked some stuff spelled out a little more, I guess. Yeah. But this was a treat. It was beautiful. It is more of a natural trajectory in his filmography, like I was saying before, if this came right after Blue Ruin. But, Green Room's good, too. It was a little more commercial, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. But, man, this guy does violence.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I definitely it's probably, unless you guys can correct me, the best direct-to-Netflix movie that I've ever seen. So
I know of as being a direct-to-Netflix movie.
Yeah. So
he's also I've never seen it, but he's directing 2 episodes of True Detective for next season for season 3.
From what I hear, that's right up his alley. So.
Yeah. So that's interesting. All right, MZ.
I enjoyed this. It's just like as Mara said. There's more to it than just violence. But man, the violence that he does, it is stellar work. Great atmosphere. This movie is loaded with atmosphere. Also, some kind of also it has a certain amount of claustrophobia involved as well.
Oh, yeah.
The location certainly helps. The fact that there's snow, it's snowing and there's snow everywhere, that certainly helps the fact too. Good performance
in a small, like a tiny town.
Yeah.
Of like what, 10 houses or something.
Yeah. I mean, you get some great aerial shots of this little town that's sitting all by itself. With nothing else around it. It's really bizarre.
It's like an hour away from like the next closest place or something.
Yeah. It's wonderfully shot, especially the aerial shots are wonderfully done. The soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is real good. I pay attention to that. And this is a recommend. I say this is a treat. Check it out.
Aries.
Yeah, as I said before, I feel there's motivations are lacking, definition. If they just defined it a little more, I think it'd be a far better movie. The violence in it is outstanding. The effects are great. and the believability is outstanding. From what I understand about someone getting shot or anything, just
that's a good point. Yeah,
the 90% of Hollywood movies, someone gets shot and they go flying back 90 feet.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen. Someone gets shot and the bullet goes through them and they drop. They don't go backwards.
That's one of the things. I don't know if did you see Green Room, Aries?
I have not. It is on my to-watch list.
That one of the things that he does really well is everything in his films seem really realistic. So I haven't seen Murder Party, but between Blue Ruin, Green Room, and this, everything is just really realistic, and that's kind of why it's almost like more impactful because of that.
I mean, I love that the believability when it comes to the any kind of death. I don't like the super exaggerated Hollywood stuff. Sometimes I do, but for the most of the time, when you're dealing with a reality-based movie, I want reality-based death. Call me old-fashioned.
All right.
But all in all, this movie definitely is a treat.
It's not a stupid argument.
Raven Shadow.
Yeah, man. I dug it a lot. I pretty much agree with what everyone said or what I've heard everyone said. Little bit not exactly sure as it got to the end, but overall I did truly like it. I love this dude as a director. I equate his violence to something out of like Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it for comic folks.
You turn the page and it's just, oh shit, damn, and that kind of imagery that just stays with you. I keep going back to the gun scene. I mean, I'm not saying it's exactly like Heat, a whole different thing, but it kind of reminded me of just that.
That actually, it's funny you say that. That actually reminded me of Heat too.
Did you really? Okay, good. It's me what I thought of, and it wasn't sexy. It just showed you how fucking shitty it is to be under fire. Like the violence was real, and you saw the damage that weapon could do against multiple folks, and just the impacts. Once again, I know we weren't in the room when you guys were talking about it, but yeah, that was just fucking awesome. So yeah, definitely a treat.
Yeah, treat for me as well. This was a really intense movie, and pretty much like everyone said, the violence felt so realistic to me. And there was just some moments of like incredible tension, which that's one thing that Saulnier excels at is tension. Like one scene we didn't mention was that scene between the cop and Chion when they were like face to face talking before the shootout.
It was awesome. I love that exchange.
That scene was great.
I know we're not friends, but we're friendly, and you just want nothing.
Yeah,
he just had.
It was just the tension there was palpable. Like he was just trying to talk him out, to come out.
You could cut it with a knife.
Yeah, exactly.
Gorilla Monsoon used to say.
Yeah.
He fucking tried, and the dude who had nothing, he wasn't gonna, wasn't turning back from his agenda, but he tried. And it was funny though when he walked back to the other cops, and they say, what'd he say? How different it was from what their interaction was to what he said.
Yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know, but I love that scene. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great, and that's just one example of the amazing tension that he's able to build, and and what it led to with the shootout. Like that whole scene was like 10 to 15 minutes of like pure genius.
The line about his wife, your wife's gonna get a phone call.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like that, and that actually that one line made that character three-dimensional. Like. Yeah. Because up till that point, it was like, okay, well, he's a normal sort of like town cop, But then that one line really like gave him this other dimension, and then we started to learn more about him.
That's right.
I think that was really interesting that one line spoken by another character really just added this another dimension to him. So, yeah, and I think the writing was really strong. As I tend to do, I read some other reviews. And some people were saying that the writing, Macon Blair's writing, wasn't great. I totally disagree. I think this is a real tight script. I think everything about it seemed very realistic, very good. And yeah, like this, if I hear a Jeremy Saulnier movie is coming out, I'm on it. Like I got to see it because this dude just is a master filmmaker, especially when it comes to tension and violence. God, I don't know if there's anyone better than him right now.
Yeah, or his finger's on the pulse.
If there is, there's only a handful of people, So yeah, this was really good, and the runtime might scare some people off, 2 hours 5 minutes, but don't let it because it doesn't really feel like it's that long to me. And there's some great performances in this, and just all around, just a really, really strong movie. So definite treat for me. And Mars, you had said earlier that this was maybe your favorite direct to Netflix movie. Was it you or MZ?
That was Mars.
me.
Okay. Well, you might eat those words like you have done recently.
Oh yeah.
Because next week,
really,
we are going to be discussing a direct to Netflix movie from Gareth Evans, director of Raid and Raid 2, called The Apostle.
Oh man, I've got my hands deep inside my brand new vest. Nobody even noticed. Nobody even.
I couldn't miss
commented
it.
how fucking handsome I was today. Thanks.
I said you have a nice beard. I looked the way you look.
Yeah, I said I want to kiss you on the mouth.
Yeah.
With your little scarf, your little green shirt.
It's a bandana, sir. Thank you very
your
much.
bandana.
It's a
So-
neckerchief.
It's a neckerchief.
So Mars, you when you make those claims, you tend
I
to eat
know.
those words a week after, and I know you're a big Giraffe Evans
So
fan.
far, there's one of his films I haven't seen. I own it, but I keep ending up on agendas that it doesn't fit into. But everything I've seen, his collaboration with the Mo Brothers in VHS
Safe
2
Haven,
is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
I can't wait.
Wolfie, do you mean the apostate?
What?
Apostate?
The Apostle. The Apostate.
Hit spell check.
Do you have your finger in your prostate?
I
They got a prostate exam.
Okay.
I got a colonoscopy coming. There's something about my apostate. The Apostle.
It doesn't say the apostle. It says the apostate.
And not the one with Bobby Duvall either.
Let me see. What?
But that ain't it because it's from 2015.
Yeah, that's not it. It does say the apostate, but yeah, that's not
Was
it.
is that a different
It's-
word?
What, did you think I said a prostate?
Yes, that's what it sounded like you said. The apostate.
Fucking movie, a prostate.
Why would I go with such lowbrow humor?
By the
like
way, if you ever doubt how much Aries loves me, you have to go against his inability to lie and the fact that he saw that, knew that it wasn't right, and still backed my play. Like, has quietly sleeked off to the shadows.
You don't see the apostle. It doesn't show up for 2 more days.
Oh, okay.
It should say that it's coming though, because I
No,
looked it up and saw it.
I'll take care of it.
I just wanted to verify. It comes out on the 12th.
Okay.
So the day of the Deadite show is when it hits Netflix. So it stars Dan Stevens, directed by Gareth Evans. It's obviously one of our most anticipated films because it's fucking the director of The Raid. So everyone should go watch that, and if you want, let us know what you think of it. And obviously, I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. So we will talk about Rock and Shock. We'll talk about the live Deadite show, the Trick or Treat Radio live podcast. We've got a lot to talk about next week. So if any of you folks are able to make it to Rock and Shock this weekend and you want to, let folks know about your time, feel free to call in, leave us a voicemail, podcast at trickortreatradio.com. And let's play some voicemail right now. We have a few of them. Let's hear, first of all, from our good buddy from Wisconsin.
Nice.
FTM, first time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. Wow, another year has gone by. It's one of the best times of the year. Rock and Shock weekend in Worcester, Massachusetts. A cornucopia of horror and music and chaos and fun. And I will not be there this year. I can't really afford it. And I will be going on a ghost boat tour with a special somebody.
Nice.
In a place called Wisconsin Dells, and that's going to be fun. But I wish you guys all the best, and everybody be safe and well, and say hi to the other people that'll show up. Hello to everybody that's listening right now that's going. First time Mike says hi and wishes you all the best too. And that Deadite show, which I love the ad that you guys did with all you guys posing in the classic Justice League #1 of the greatest run of the Justice League of all time.
Agreed. Thank you.
The Giffen Demadius run. And I know that Mars and Raven Shadow are going to back me up on this.
Word.
But I love that picture. And I'd like to get a print of it and framed. And maybe, hey, Raven Shadow, I've been listening to this show for like almost 2-3 years now.
It's true.
I still have not gotten my 8x10 glossy signed by Michael Raven Shadow.
Listen,
we got to work on that.
I've now
Second of all, again, everybody, I have a question for you tonight, in my own strange rambling way. In addition to saying hi to everybody and any panels you're going to, what are you looking forward to this weekend outside of the Deadite show and the various thing? Is there anything you're going to be looking for in the dealer hall? Is there anybody you're excited to meet? Is there anything that you just like doing around this time that might be off-site that you can talk about without, it maybe involving the law or, significant others people are going to yell at you about? But, just a little about something about the world next to Rock and Shock. What you want to buy? Did you do anything? Or, what are you looking forward to? This is First Time Mike from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a bunch of 1,000 miles away, but still with you guys at heart. Wishing you all a good night and a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves at the 2018 Rock and Shock. Say hi to everybody from First Time Mike. Have a couple drinks for me. I'm out. Goodbye.
Thanks, First Time Mike. Great voicemail, buddy. We always love hearing from you, and we wish you were here too, but glad that you'll be there in spirit with us. So, question was, what are you looking forward to most? That's not, I guess, the normal stuff of being at the booth and going to the Deadites, doing the Deadite show and stuff. So, is there any celebrities or booths that you're excited about stopping by? Anyone?
Well, yeah. As far as celebs go, I'm interested in seeing Ted Raimi and Linda Blair. Linda Blair has always been on my bucket list for years and years and years, and it's kind of amazing how, out of all the ones that I've met, she is one that has
eluded
seemed to have eluded me.
She's been fucking trying, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
In 2 days, she's gonna fail, and
wow, Jesus.
Hi, Linda.
You're the guy that goes to Stephen King's house.
I love doing Repossessed. And of course, going over to the Morbid Vision Films table and checking out Brian Paul and see how he's doing. And not to mention, checking out all the dealer tables. I do a walkthrough there about 50 times, so every show. So I'll be looking forward to doing that.
Vinegar Syndrome will be there again this year.
Yes. Oh, Vinegar Syndrome, man. They know how to take care of their fans. They really do. And I strongly urge to check out a Vinegar Syndrome table. They are definitely worth it. They're the best thing in DVD marketing right now, I would say. They're just fantastic to their fans and fantastic to their customers, and they have a great range, I should say, of movies, from softcore porn to horror. And no, I'm not kidding. From the old Stag reels, 8mm films from like the 1950s and 60s. They got a whole library of that shit, and I love that stuff. So definitely check them out, man. They're worth it.
Mars. I just saw I saw what we're doing for the week after. You're gonna fucking love this.
Oh yeah.
It hits Netflix on October 19th. So normally we don't call out movies that we do this far in advance, but The Night Comes for Us is popping up on Netflix on the 19th.
Fucking finally.
With directed by one of the Mo brothers, Timo, and it stars Iko.
That was one that I knew was coming out.
You mentioned to me like a year ago or something.
So I was just super fucking jacked because it looked like it was out. It was the same as the other movie by the people that did the Leatherface movie. Like they had the movie that was going to be on Shudder and never showed up. But they made Inside. That was what they made. But I am very disappointed, Wolfie, because my number one favorite vendor at Rocket Shock doesn't look like they're going to be there this year.
And that is?
Diabolique DVD.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, like I don't like my bank account is happy about it, but
Oh, they're not
So,
gonna make it?
yeah, they're I saw that they were.
I dropped $300 at them last year.
Jesus.
Good for you, man.
Because I bought, you know, I was allowed to buy. When I found out they were going to be there, like, you know, this was before things were real shitty, and KMC and I decided, like, you know, like, well, we'll take $100 and you can spend it on that, right? And that doesn't go as far as you think.
Right.
But what happened was the next day I was milling around and I saw something else, and I'm like, oh, I want that fog tin.
Yeah.
And then I want, you know, the Sinbad set, and, you know, so next thing you know, like, I was pretty much on like $100 a day plan with those guys. But, you know, I really love them, and if I'm being honest, it's tough sometimes to justify getting it for a higher price and then paying shipping when I can get it for $9 on Amazon, you know? Like,
Right.
I know I'd rather help it, but, you know. So I was glad to be able to kind of put some money down for them. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome is a close runner-up, though. There's a lot of stuff that they've put out this year that I'm excited to get. So
First time Mike just said, talking about Vinegar Syndrome, their Raw Force Blu-ray is amazing.
Oh, it's the fucking best.
And
I
Tim,
gotta get my hands on that.
Tim Chuma says, I bought some Vinegar Syndrome stuff not knowing it was X-rated. And
we're happy when you found out.
yeah. All right, so what else are you guys looking forward to?
Well, first of all, first time, Mike, hit me up with your contact information. I'm going to do a mailing after Rock and Shock weekend.
There you go.
Yep. Maybe I'll throw in a couple surprises, too.
He didn't say how far after Rock and Shock, so
right.
check in
Could be
next
next year. Yeah.
Right, like, you know, this time next year is after Rock and Shock. Right? But no. My favorite vendor is a bar called Moynihan's, right across from
Come
Rock
on,
and
you're not
Shock.
going there this year.
Oh, I'm
already
No,
mad.
you're
Hey, like
You're not going.
Why?
Cause you're not going.
It's in my contract.
No, it's
no,
not.
it's not. You don't have a fucking contract.
I got a new one. I got a rider.
Yeah.
You don't have to be there. How about that?
Oh, that's you're being rude.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Being hurt my feelings.
I don't like it when you drink.
I'm not drinking.
What are you going to Monahan's then?
Yeah,
for
what
the
do you-
fucking
for the-
pretzels?
for the am-
We're gonna
for the
hit great
ambience?
popcorn over
For the
there.
stories?
Oh, you go for the popcorn.
Yeah. No, I say hello. I bring someone new over there. Maybe there'll be someone new. I like showing them the bar.
I'll play some darts.
Yeah, play some dots. No, I won't.
Go to the bar, play some darts.
Aries,
I won't
you-
drink all before that we go live.
Aries, can we put you in charge of him for the weekend?
Nope.
Damn it.
I've been able to avoid Aries.
Because you're at fucking Monahan's the whole time. You avoid everyone.
No, I'm having fun with you.
We had a panel we had to do. We had to fucking find you, put you in the booth, and then you were gone when we got back. There was somebody who like some fucking passerby was watching the booth because you wandered away.
He was a fan. He told me I could trust him.
Jesus Christ.
You put the fucking undesirable.
What else?
I'm a little interested in the Red Room.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
Kind of piqued my curiosity.
Twin piqued your curiosity.
In a red room with black curtains upstairs at the DCU Center.
Convention.
Ginger Baker, best bass player of all time. Discuss. I think. I mean, I don't know. Like it's. I'm interested to see it because it's going to be set up very differently this year. So I know that's kind of an esoteric thing, but like we've moved our booth a few times over the years, but the way, you know, the way the room has been set up has always been the same.
It's always taken up the whole space.
So we'll see. You know, it's interesting. I understand the Super Mega Fest situation, but like, I don't know. Like, I think I would suck it up.
It's awfully nice of them to even consider making it smaller for them. But
yeah.
For me, maybe this is a cop out, but it's just the people and hanging out with everyone. It's it's hanging out with these guys. It's seeing people who we don't normally see, or people who we see at Rock and Shock and that's it, or whatever. So it's hanging out with everyone. So
I have something to latch onto that too. Like I'm willing for jokes, and hopefully Aries can make sure that he doesn't pull out. But like,
Hey, wait. I always pull out.
Nice. I like, so maybe that kid is mine. I like the, every time there is an opportunity to get Tiny in front of people and people can tell him that he appreciates him because he doesn't leave the house. That's a shoot.
Is he like a pet? You're going to put him on fucking parade?
Oh, look at him like a baby
Look at the
Jesus.
tiny white. Look at
Keep
him.
Tiny.
Aw.
But no, like the Deadites 93 show where like there wasn't
keyboards.
there wasn't 11 other people. It's true. To, you know, where he didn't go hide right away and he actually talked to people. Like, it just means a lot to me because I don't feel like he gets the love that we are able to get.
So
Yeah, 'cause
essentially,
he
what you're
stays in his
telling me
house,
is you want me to kidnap him this weekend.
Yeah.
If you have to.
Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the day he's committed to.
Just Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll bring him the mornings.
So he don't want to go
No,
to mornings.
he won't go to fucking morning. All right, well,
Your pile of reason don't want to come, so don't go to mornings on that day.
thank you, first time Mike. Now we gotta. This is interesting, Mars. I don't know if he's been bugging the Five Hossman chat or what, but we got a message from Guido.
Oh no!
Hey guys, I said, hey guys, what's happening, man?
Hey
guys, what's up?
What's up?
Hey guys,
what's up?
What's up, man? Hey guys.
Hey.
Where's the party, y'all?
Right here.
Guys.
Yeah.
Party?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Oh, he's listening to
What's
us.
up, man? Okay, have you ever seen this movie called The Nemesis from 1992? Directed by Albert Pyun, the guy that did Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the movie. It's pretty rad, man. It really is. It's like, it feels like it should be Cyborg 2, because it's set in like the future in LA, like 2025 AD, and it's like fucking deserted, and a fucking Raven Shadow, shut your cock.
Wow.
I am terrified right now.
That's it.
He knows you so well.
Was it Nemesis? Is that what he's...
So I have been looking for movies for my Halloween thing, right? Monster Zero, can you please tell what movie I the second is this? Well, it's the second movie in my queue. You'll see Project Metal Beast at the beginning, but when I finish watching Project Metal Beast, what's gonna start?
Nemesis.
That's fucking weird.
Can I?
Star
can I-
Trek Nemesis doesn't count.
Yeah, no.
No, not that Nemesis.
Nemesis Enforcer.
I've heard of this one, but I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, I remember the box art, the VHS. I don't know if it can
Can we-
see it, but that's Nemesis right there.
Can we bring a Elijah photo?
Oh, with Olivier Gruner. He's the one from Cyborg, right?
Probably Albert Pyun.
Yeah,
made
yeah.
Cyborg. He's my friend on Facebook, by the way.
Albert Pyun?
Yeah.
Didn't Albert Pyun do the 1990s Captain America movie?
Yeah, in Masters Universe, I think.
Really?
Or no. Cyborg was at one point.
He did do Captain
supposed
America,
to be
yeah.
Masters Universe.
Cyborg
That's right, that's
2, right? Oh, there was something. I know what you're talking about.
No, Cyborg was. So when they got the money to do Cyborg, they were supposed to do Masters Universe in a Spider-Man movie.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if Jean-Claude was going to be Spider-Man or what the fucking agenda was.
But I remember seeing like a list, and there was like, yeah, Cyborg was like AKA Master of the Universe 2, and it blew our minds.
Yeah.
Wow, with Tom Matthews.
He's got a pretty interesting
Brian
filmography.
James.
He's doing a bunch of stuff now still too.
Yeah, well, I just watched his movie,
Thomas Jane?
I just watched Robo Vampire, where if you've seen that, that's two movies that he made he didn't finish, that he put together that don't have fucking jack all to do with each other. So if you're watching it without the, like, I remembered 20 minutes from the end, so I wasn't disappointed, but if you're watching that and expecting the two films you're watching to intersect at any point between opening and ending credits, you are going to be sorely disappointed.
Look at Albert Pyun's
Jackie
look
Earl
at his shirt.
Haley is in this.
What an interesting fella. Is he holding a cat?
No, it's
Wearing
a
dog
shirt.
No, it's a dog's shirt, but is he holding a little kitten?
I think it's part of the shirt.
Oh, okay. Next to his under Captain America
Yeah,
shield.
What a cast. Tim Thomerson.
What a guy. Albert Pyun.
I could cry.
Tim Thomerson.
The thing that I think is most interesting about Albert is that
He kind of looks like
none
Margaret
of-
Cho.
he never made a Star Wars, right? But like his movies do have it's not like Matei or somebody like that, another like sleaze thing. Like, it's not like he stayed at the same level forever.
Yeah.
Like, he made a lot of different, like, I mean, he made a Van Damme movie.
Yeah.
And he made Robo Vampire.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, thank you, Guido. We know who you are. We know who you are. You ain't fooling us. And
I fucking wish it was Guido, though.
I know.
I'm fucking pissed.
Talk about the booking.
Yeah, I'm going to tear that guy. Like, fucking, it's honestly like Michael Ravenshaw took over my New Japan last week, and I was pissed. If you've ever wanted to see me be irrationally mad about something that doesn't fucking matter. No, I think I topped it. You would have had to be in our friendly chat at like 11 o'clock the other day because I was fucking pissed. Like someone had kicked my cat. Like I was crying. I was mad. I was fighting with everybody. I was mad
because of New Japan booking.
Yeah, because they fucking did like a bunch of fucking Monday Night Raw shit. They had a fucking WCW style bait and switch. Hey, no. When you tell me all week I'm gonna get fucking Zack Sabre Jr. and then I wait 2.5 hours and don't get him, then I fucking want it.
Well, go back and watch any of the thousands of matches that he's been in prior.
I thought I was getting a new one, and I didn't get it.
You'll get a new one next month.
I did get him saying the
Against
amazing
Naito.
line that fucking evil is Evanescence, and I'm Susie in the fucking Banshees.
Yeah.
But
that was amazing. All right, last voicemail from Pabst.
Ooh.
Dynamo's
estranged
sad.
son.
I love him. Don't tell him.
Hey guys, it's Paps just calling in. I watched Hold the Dark about a week or so ago, shortly like right before October started, and I kind of had to sit with it for a little bit and think about it. I did really enjoy it. I have to say the director, Jeremy Saulnier, I think? I don't know how to put it. But anyway, he is really, really good at building tension. Like the scene with the Gatling gun, oh man, that was incredibly tense. The ending also very tense, but I do have to say I had a little bit of a problem with how the film ended. I don't want to give any spoilers away. I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted a little bit more from it, but, fuck me, so whatever. But, despite that, I did think it was a very, very well-made movie, beautifully shot, and, I look forward to more output from that guy. I know he didn't write it, he just directed it, but, solid, awesome flick. I gave it a treat. But yeah, so, it's October, 31 days of Halloween. I've been going strong. And just wanted to do a quick little rundown of what I watched and just some quick little thoughts. Number 1, Train to Busan. Fucking loved it. Great to rewatch that movie. Just fucking awesome. Number 2, The Ritual. I enjoyed it. I did really, really like that movie. I think that one's also really beautifully shot. Well done. I love the creature in it. Number 3, Zombie 2 or Fulci Zombie, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Great movie. Awesome gore. It was good to give that one another rewatch. Number 4, Beyond the Gates. Loved it. Really made me want to play one of those VHS board games. Number 5, I watched Cemetery Man. Great flick. Number 6, I watched this South Korean movie, Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum. And that was really good. Some really great scares in it. I hope you guys check it out because I think it's definitely worth watching. Some really fucking creepy parts in it. Number 7, I don't care what anyone says. This is a horror movie, Black Cauldron. Like, holy shit, the Horned King is a fucking scary guy. And I love the fact that the original movie the original cut of it was cut by 12 minutes. They took out a bunch of stuff that was super disturbing that sent kids literally fleeing in terror from the theater in the test screening. And I would really love to maybe someday see that if I get filthy stinking rich. Number 8, I watched As Above So Below. It was all right. I mean, it was fun, but kind of for the wrong reasons. And finally, last night I watched Veronica. Loved it. All right, guys, have a good night. Look forward to listening, and peace.
All right, Pabst. We'll see you this weekend, buddy. Yes, Mars.
Before anyone fucking runs me up the river. And honestly, like, I don't know if this is just a mistake of my brain or my inherent, I'm from the whitest town on earth and inherently racist because of that. Robo Vampire was Godfrey Ho, not Albert Pune.
Okay,
and Godfrey
I don't
Ho,
think it's racist. but-
Godfrey Ho never.
He's the
made,
fucking
Yeah,
king
he
of-
never
yeah.
made another Marvel movie.
What was the name of the movie again? Robo
Vampire.
Oh, okay.
It's
that
on
sounds
a-
like a Godfrey Ho.
Yeah, it's in Robo Vampire 2 is another movie he made called like something Dynamite that I don't even know if it has Robo Vampire in it, but in Robo Vampire, by the way, is a guy in the fucking Dollar Tree RoboCop costume. It's not very good. Anyone else doing any sort of 31 days? I regret it because it's been actually fucking.
I think MZ was right.
More work.
Weren't you
Yeah.
trying?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Are you doing just classics or are you doing like?
I'm pretty much all over the place.
Because
really.
I'm trying to do movies I've never seen.
Well,
or things I haven't seen in a fucking shit ton of time.
No, I'm trying to watch movies that I haven't seen in a long time. So today was Scream.
Oh, nice.
Does it hold up?
Not really.
I love that movie.
Not really. Let me see what else.
You just Uncle Alden us.
Let's see.
Not really.
Let's see. Yeah, Scream. The day before that was Audition.
Oh man.
Yeah. Before that was Madman.
Madman Mars.
Madman Mars, my boy. Let's see. Before that, Exorcist 3.
Nice.
Which I fucking just love. Before that was Deep Red.
Oh, Profondo Rosso.
Before that was House of a Thousand Corpses. And let's see, before that was Bloody Moon.
I saw you started off with The Boy.
Yes, I started off with The Boy.
End of that, Everything I Promised.
It follows the typical template of a big house, big spooky house, but
Until
then
it
it gets
doesn't.
weird.
Yeah. My special lady friend literally hit pause and went, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, it got a little weird, but it's not a bad movie.
No.
I think it's a little bit underrated. Let's see. Before I watched, what was it? Bloody Moon. Before I watched Bloody Moon, I watched The Ranger. And what do I watch my second day?
You have to scroll through a lot of fucking
Yeah.
anti-Trump propaganda to get to your list there. It's crazy.
Housewife.
I'm trying to do not just horror, Halloween stuff. I watched Witches Night Out, which is an old weird 70s Halloween special. I watched Hellfest at the theater. I watched The Housewife. Nope, The Housewife wasn't one of them. I watched The Ranger on day 3. I watched the Halloween is Grinch Night, which I didn't even know existed until like a year ago. I watched Found Footage 3D on day 5, which some reason has raised the ire of everyone I know. I'm not positive. Day 6, I watched the new, I watched a lot that day, but I watched the new Izzy Lee short, My Monster. I watched something I've always wanted to see, which I hadn't. I watched Once Upon a Midnight Scary, was Vincent Price's trying to get kids to read movie. I watched Fat Albert's Halloween special, and I watched Witchcraft. And tonight will be a bit of a cheat because I started it but didn't get to finish it. Today, my number 9 or 10 or whatever will be Project Metal Beast. So
I wasn't originally going to watch Scream, but then it just appeared on my TV, and I'm like, and it's just
randomly.
Yeah, I was on cable, and
I'm
it
gonna make
just,
some
just
eggs, holy
started. So I
shit.
figured, okay, I'll watch this. Because I did have a movie planned, but I figured I'll watch that instead. So
Rose
tomorrow,
McGowan, what are you doing here?
so tomorrow I'll be watching Mad Monster Party.
Nice. All right, let's wrap this shit up because it's getting late and we got a busy weekend. So let's say, well, first of all, thank you to everyone who sent voicemail. We appreciate you guys doing so. I know we didn't really solicit it this week, but it's always lovely to hear your voices. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, I'm not going to check Twitter right now. We gotta go. We're gonna go, as Raven Shadow says.
Goodbyes are getting long.
So All right, MZ, say goodbye.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Marsman.
See you later, alligator. I'm trying something new. Is it okay?
No.
All right, remember, children, wherever you go, they fucking are.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to episode 324. Big thanks to Kevin Barbary for showing up, and everyone who hung out in the chat room. You guys are always awesome hanging out on Wednesdays. And first time Mike was talking about Albert Pune, and he also said I'll send the info after Rocket Shock, Raven Shadow. So he said Nemesis has two of my favorite B movie actors, Tim Thomerson and Brian James. Yeah, I love them. And he says Pune really likes the cyberpunk aesthetic. Yes, he does. So thank you to everyone who hung out. I'm not going to name names because I will forget people. So thank you guys. And next week, we are going to be checking out The Apostle on Netflix, episode 325. We hope to see a lot of your beautiful faces at Rock and Shock. Looking forward to it. We're going to do the live show, Deadite show. It's going to be awesome. See you next week.